Trojan football is on the air. Go!
36-28. Southeast of Saline has an 8-point advantage. You have the best player in the state in Class 2A taking the snap. The two-time defending champions have the last say about it. Here's the pass, and it's going to be a tackle by Grady Gebhardt in the middle of the field, and Southeast of Saline has won. The Trojans have won this game. They scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes to go. 1:50 remaining on the clock. Southeast of Saline might have been written off. They were down by 8 points, 28-20, but Southeast of Saline scores the last 16 points in this game, and the Trojans win their second state title in school history, and they win it 36-28.
This is Countdown to Kickoff for Southeast of Saline Trojan football on KINA Sports. Coming up, you'll get a preview of area games, analysis on tonight's matchups, and hear from the coach. Now, let's head to the stadium. Countdown to Kickoff starts now. On KINA and worldwide on Salina Post.
Last week, the Southeast of Saline Trojans began their journey to defend the Class 2A state title with a home game against Southwestern Heights. A number 1 versus a number 16 matchup, and you get what you expect, a lopsided result in favor of the number 1 seed, Southeast of Saline Trojans. Tonight, Southeast of Saline will enter the field now of just 16 teams that remain. Tonight's game, Southeast of Saline back at home, this time to take on the Russell Broncos. Hello and welcome into Steve Fritz Field on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School. My name is Devin Haney. I'll have play-by-play of tonight's contest. With me in the booth will be Tyler Smith. Providing that live stream audio free of charge on SalinaPost.com is Brian Dennett. Tonight, that's presented by Asaria Oil and Hardware. Back at Studio Central, producing and engineering tonight's contest, Chris Cadle and Nick Garst. Want to thank you for joining us for yet another week of Southeast of Saline football. This, the 10th game of the season, and it's tonight against a familiar foe in the Russell Broncos. Last Friday night, Southeast of Saline cruised to a 74-0 victory over an unfamiliar opponent in Southwestern Heights. Southeast of Saline looked good in all aspects of the game. They got off to a great start, scoring 14 points in the first quarter, leading 14-0. And then an explosion in the second quarter of 46 points for the Trojans. They were scoring in every aspect of the game. A couple of interceptions returned for touchdowns, a couple of offensive touchdowns, and 46 points in the second quarter put Southeast of Saline up 60-0 at halftime. Seemingly everybody that suited up for the Trojans got into the game and contributed to a 74-0 victory. The win for Southeast of Saline makes them 9-0 on the season, now extends that winning streak to 22 games, still the longest winning streak in the state, tied with the Andale Indians in Class 3A. Tonight, Southeast of Saline will take on a familiar foe, and you have to go way back in the history of head coach Mitch Gebhardt to find some games between the Russell Broncos. The first ever game for Mitch Gebhardt as the head coach was September 3rd, 2010. Southeast of Saline won that game 18-14, the first game ever for head coach Mitch Gebhardt, and it was a win. Here we are 100-some wins later, and he's still going at it and looking to take on Russell once again. We'll look more at the Broncos when we come back. We'll talk to Eric Stone. He's the voice of the Russell Broncos for KRSL in Russell. And then coming up in the third segment, we will talk to Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. Countdown to Kickoff tonight and every night is brought to you by L&L Advisors. Open enrollment time for Medicare. Make sure you trust the experts that you know and you can trust. It's the experts at L&L Advisors with 3 offices. One in Salina at Salina Central Mall. One at the main office over by Roach in Ohio, just by Salina Stadium. Then offices in McPherson and Manhattan. You probably have a lot of people calling your house, maybe even knocking on your door that you don't know. Trust the experts that you do know. They're at L&L Advisors in Salina, McPherson, and Manhattan. Also, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by a couple of special partners, Kansas Bankers Technology. They deliver IT consulting, engineering, backup management services specifically to community banks. They help with strategic and operational IT challenges, including compliance with evolving financial industry regulations, selecting and implementing business applications, and ongoing tech support. Microsoft and Cisco trusted partners as well. That is our friends at Kansas Bankers Technologies. We're back with more Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by L&L Advisors, worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
Fall is the absolute best time for the experts at Commercial Tire Centers to look over your vehicle. Summer was tough on your tires, and winter's coming on strong. You don't want to be left stranded with tires that aren't performing. Car, truck, SUV, trailers, farm, and big rigs. Commercial Tire will help you keep safe and productive. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You're listening to Trojan Football.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Trojan football. It's playoff time now, game number 10 on tap here on the campus of Southeast of Saline, and a familiar foe coming in, an old league opponent in the Russell Broncos. Help us learn more about the Russell Broncos from KRSL in Russell. It's our friend Eric Stone. Eric, it's a big game here today, and appreciate you joining us here on Pregame to let us get to know the Broncos a little bit. It's been a fun ride for you guys this year.
It is, and Devin, first of all, thank you for having me. It's great to be on your show, and yes, it has been a fun ride for the Russell Broncos. You know, they're winning a season since 2003 and making the playoffs for the third time in the last 5 years after not going for 15 years. It has definitely been quite a fun time.
This Russell team is some kind of uncharted territory that you'll get into as far as playoffs, and this is not a normality for Russell, but it is here lately. Did you kind of get the feeling when you started the season here with the Broncos, and they're 4-0, did you get the feeling that this season had some chance to be special?
Well, I did, and it helps that you had 12 seniors on the team that who really, Devin, have been playing together since fourth grade, since, youth football. And they've gone through that, and then, of course, middle school football and on into high school. Some of them probably played JV together, and then all coming together on the varsity team. So it has been a great thing to see these seniors, kind of bring the culmination of the 8 years that they've been together to bringing this into the playoffs.
When we look at this Russell team and what they've been able to do this year, this is a team that, boy, they can score some points, over 30 points a game on offense, and it really doesn't seem like it matters, what strategy they take. You told me off air that they've been really run-heavy in some games, they've been really pass-heavy in some games. Tell me about this Bronco offense and what you see when they're on the field.
Well, they definitely have a great runner in Walker Middleton, who is also a dynamic receiver as well. He's got 500 yards in receiving. And then, of course, on the ends, you have Sam Thielen and Dominic Hernandez. And Sam's got 7 touchdowns receiving. He's caught some touchdowns in stride. And, they had Trey Zorn, who has played quarterback most of the season. He got shaken up late in the season, so Sam came in for him last week at Cimarron. And he wasn't throwing as much, but he managed the game very well, balancing handoffs to Middleton and to Wyatt Harmon, who's definitely the durable running back, and then carrying the ball himself and really making the opportunities for himself. He did get a touchdown on Russell's first drive, so it has been a balanced offense. But yes, it has definitely gone between run and pass, more pass heavy. Trey had thrown for over 1,800 yards going into that Beloit game.
Seems like they have a dynamic energy when they have the football. Let's look at the defensive side of the ball. This is a defense that has pitched a couple of shutouts this year. They average about 16 points a game is what they allow. Tell me about the Bronco defense.
Well, the leading tackler is Wyatt Harmon, who I just talked about at running back. He's got 106 tackles. He has a sack. Sam on defense has 4 interceptions, including a key interception last week against Cimarron, which stopped a drive when the Blue Jays had a chance to first move in and tie the game. And then you look at some of the front men, too. Ian Strobel, Bragan Dinkle, especially Zephyrin Donner, who is a 130-pound senior, but don't underestimate him. He had a big fumble recovery when Minneapolis was inside the 5-yard line and was able to make that play happen, and he's gotten a couple of sacks lately. So it has definitely been a balance on defense, and they have really helped to stop some drives from the other teams in certain games.
It's always fun for us as people just kind of looking on the outside in. Of course, we have our responsibilities every Friday, but then I'm sure you're just like me. You take a look at scores from around the state and kind of try to gauge who is what and what team is going to have what path. Just a couple of common opponents I noticed on the schedule here between Southeast of Salina and Russell, and that would be a couple of the old league schools, right? In the NCAA, it'd be Minneapolis and also Beloit. Tell me about those 2 outings for the Russell Broncos.
Well, the Minneapolis game was crazy, Devin. They fell behind. Russell did 11-0 in the second quarter, and suddenly they jumped back into the lead. It was a back-and-forth game. Looked like Russell had a chance to put the game away late. They go up by 12 points with 7 minutes to go, and Minneapolis is out of timeouts. And then Tyler Jest led the Lions back, got a couple of touchdowns. The problem for them, they missed a couple of extra points, including one in overtime, and that allowed the Broncos to score a touchdown in their overtime possession, and then Alex Krug barely tucks in an extra point to win that game, 37-36. And then, of course, Beloit, you know about them. Of course, Southeast played them in the Sub-State Championship last year. Beloit has definitely had Russell's number over the years, but I think they knew they were in a fist fight that night in the rain at Schaefer Field. Russell led 13-12 at halftime. That game was tied in the fourth quarter before the Trojans found a way to win that one, but they knew that they were very fortunate to get out of there.
Couple of common opponents there between Russell and also Southeast of Saline on the road last week, opening the playoffs. The round of 32, you take a road trip to Cimarron. You get the victory 25-14. How, just in the overall scope of things, I don't want to get things lost here in what we're doing tonight. I'm just talking in the overall scope of things and going on the road, getting a victory against a good Cimarron team. What did that win mean for Russell?
Well, it means a lot, Devin. And, you think about it, the last time Russell and Southeast of Saline played was in 2021, and Southeast won 71-0. Folks in Gypsum and surrounding areas might find it hard to believe the next week after that, they went to Scott City and upset Scott City, ended up making the playoffs at the time for the first time in 15 years, before losing late at Riley County. The next year they do make the playoffs. They beat Cimarron at home for their first playoff win in 43 years at the time, since they made the 79 state title game. And then after missing a couple of years, they get back this year, and that Cimarron win was the first time they won a road playoff game in 46 years, since they beat Beloit in the first round of that 79 playoff season. So to go on the road to hostile territory and pick up a victory certainly boosts the confidence. They had a great crowd supporting them on the road, and so obviously it's going to be a big task to take on Southeast of Saline. They're a terrific team, defending state champions, but there's a lot of confidence, I think, on this Russell team right now.
In your eyes, Eric, what are the keys to success for the Broncos here tonight?
Well, obviously, Grady Gebhardt is, to me, all world. 34 total touchdowns, and he's going to get his points, and I think Coach Greenwood kind of realizes that's going to happen, but to try not to let things get out of, control, make sure you keep things in front of you, and maybe, keep time of possession. That's one thing Russell did so successfully at Cimarron. Their first drive took nearly 10 minutes before they scored the touchdown, and then when they got their winning drive after Cimarron tied the game, that drive spanned the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then once they got the interception and were able to run the clock down with Cimarron low on timeouts, they were able to, again, be very efficient. So you try to keep the ball away from Southeast of Saline's offense and keep them, at least those players on the bench, you can be productive. But obviously, they're going to go after you and try to strip the ball, so I think Russell has to be mindful of that as well.
Couple of old friends getting ready to tangle in a high-stakes matchup here at Southeast of Saline, the Russell Broncos and Southeast of Saline Trojans. That's our friend Eric Stone from KRSL. He's the voice of the Russell Broncos. Eric, thank you so much for spending time with us here in pregame. Have a good call tonight, and good luck the rest of the way, whether it's more football or turning the page to basketball.
Most definitely, Devin. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll tell you what, excited about the new turf at Southeast. The stadium renovations look terrific. Looking forward to seeing that.
Eric Stone from KRSL. He's here with the Russell Broncos on their broadcast End of Things, that trip behind enemy lines. To learn more about the Broncos, brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Visit lilypadseptic.com to get more information. Back with more pregame after this. We'll sit down with Coach Gebhardt. It's coming up. Brought to you by Frisbee Construction right after the break.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with high-quality flooring and appliances? Look no further than Salina Appliance and Flooring. We're your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. We offer a wide selection of flooring and appliance options. Visit our showroom today located at 740 North 9th or our website at salinaappliance.com.
The Appliance Center, your local, trustworthy, and family-owned appliance dealer, providing sales, service, and parts for Salina and the surrounding area since 1980. The Appliance Center, just north of Ace Hardware on Broadway in the red and white building. Stop in today and experience the Appliance Center difference.
The Trojans are experts in precision passes, and Everhart Precision Ag are your experts in grid soil sampling. Everhart Precision Ag does all the sampling and data analysis in-house, keeping it local and close to the farm. They're also your local channel seedsman, selling all seeds with an emphasis in corn and soybeans. Trust Matt Everhart and Lane Hensley at Everhart Precision Ag, serving Saline, Dickinson, McPherson, and Ottawa counties, and also supporting southeast of Saline Trojans. For more information, visit everhartprecision.com.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline Trojan football back at home for another game. This one coming up against the Russell Broncos. Before we get to that, we'll flash back to next week as well with the head coach of the Trojans, Mitch Gebhardt, is brought to you by Frisbee Construction. And boy, Coach, a good outing for you last week. 1 versus 16, opening round of the playoffs, and 74-0, the victory over Southwestern Heights. I just can't get over the second quarter. It was just a big explosion, like somebody lit a fuse in the first quarter, and then it went off in the second. 46 points is a lot of points in one quarter, and I know you've kind of been around that mark before, but when you step back and think about it, that's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, it really is. I thought our kids did a good job of coming out and getting after it to start with there. And, we scored, I think, on the first play from the scrimmage in the second quarter, and that second quarter was awful good to us. We had a couple pick sixes and, a couple good runs and a couple touchdown throws. So to be able to do all those things in that second quarter and kind of separate ourselves was a great quarter for us.
The first quarter just kind of had a tempo to it, like it felt like it was a slower game. It felt like maybe you guys were more deliberate about what you were doing. Not to say you were being careful, but it just kind of worked. It seemed like we're going to go in there, we're going to work hard, we're going to take these things. And I know there was some respect for Southwestern Heights. It was a well-coached football team. They were fundamentally sound. Only had 22 players on their roster, but I thought that first quarter really set the tone for how you guys can control a game.
Well, and I like how physically we were to start the game. They were doing some stuff, throwing those short passes underneath and some things like that. And the kids were catching them, but they weren't getting too many first downs on it. And, I felt like our kids did a good job of adjusting to that and then running to the football and making tackles. We were maybe not as fast paced on offense as we are sometimes. And, our kids did a good job with it. And, to start out with, we had a 16-0 lead at the end of the first quarter.
5 of 7 passing for Tiernan Potacek in the passing game. Didn't put in the air a lot, 75 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. In the running game, you got a lot of guys involved here in the running game. Grady, 130 yards, also 64 yards for Levon Hopkins. You get some guys in late and just kind of play the whole roster again. Playoff football is a different thing, especially when you get to this time of year in November. Again, I just want to talk about it and just reiterate, when you have guys that are playing in the second half that maybe didn't expect to suit up or maybe didn't even expect to play at all, it's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, it really is, we were happy that we got that lead by halftime so we could get those guys in, and we did. Everybody was in pads, got rotated in, and that's a big deal. to be able to do that. And then everybody contributed on top of that. As the season progressed, I've been proud of how those younger guys have come on. And, we had some kids. We scored a couple touchdowns with our young kids, 2 or 3. And, they stopped Southwestern Heights from scoring twice. So, that was a big deal for them. I was excited for them, and they worked their tails off in practice, and it showed up last Thursday, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. It seemed like it was a big deal, the 0 on the scoreboard, because that was a top-to-bottom effort from everybody on the field, especially that last takeaway in the end zone. It felt like maybe Southwestern Heights was going to go get some points, and your young guys were able to hold them off the scoreboard. And it may have been the biggest ovation I heard of the night, where the applause came out, because a lot of your guys on the sideline were engaged in that. They were rooting for the guys to keep the shutout intact. And just talk about that and just the culture of that, where people are still paying attention at that point in the game.
Well, I've been really proud of our older guys and our leaders. And when they do come out, they are doing a good job of helping those younger guys do things correctly. And that's a big deal when those older guys stay engaged in the game. The expectation is for them to do that, and they do it. That's such a big deal for just everybody on the football team. Our younger guys do a good job when our older guys in there, and I'm awful proud of those older guys of paying attention and cheering for and helping out and all those things that they do when the younger guys do get to play.
You were able to rotate some guys through, even when it's early in the game, on your defensive side of the ball. Tell me how you feel about this defense right now. We just always kind of look when we have a team like this. I always just kind of think about in the scope of recent history at Southeast of Saline and what different defenses did different, and they all have their own characteristics. It just feels like this defense is almost the perfect combination of speed and power. And, boy, they were dominant on Thursday night.
Well, I really I think it starts with our speed. And I've said that for the last 2 years. We're very fortunate to have guys that have all kinds of speed, especially the linebacker position. A lot of times you just have one guy that has that kind of speed, and we've got 4, and that's a big deal to be able to maybe make a false step and still get to where you're supposed to be. There's guys that we've had over the years that have been outstanding linebackers that couldn't make a mistake. And we've got some guys that have a lot of speed, so when you do things correctly, which they do most of the time, they're there in a hurry. But our defensive line starts us all the time. They're dudes up front. Those guys do an outstanding job. They eat up a lot of blocks, and they make a lot of tackles. And our secondary we have different guys punched in that secondary, and we just continue to get better. And I'm awful proud of what those guys have done.
Tell me about your week leading up to this game here tonight against Russell. You can't ask for better weather. How are the guys doing on the practice field in preparation?
No, you're exactly right. Wow, this weather's been amazing for us, and we've had some darn good practices. Playoff practices are just the intensity. I think we do basically do everything the same thing, but our intensity is a little bit more. And it's a fun time of year to have practices, and our kids have been practicing well, and our younger guys are coming along and understanding what playoff football is about.
What does a week of practice will look like at this stage in the year? I mean, I know you guys have kind of your base in things that you do that you're never going to change. How many things do you put in, though, each week, not only offense but defense, just kind of for that game and maybe some special things for that week?
We do make some changes, obviously. Everything that we do is just set up so that we can adjust to some of the little nuances that other teams have. So as far as just wholesale changes, we don't make big changes. But some teams run the ball more, some teams throw the ball more. Some teams linebackers are better or whatever. So we do have adjust for those. We continue to add all year long, add to our offense or add to our defense. And, I think that just makes us better so that other teams don't know exactly what we're going to do every time.
I want to go down and walk down memory lane with you. Let's go back to September 3rd. 2010. It was the first coaching game for you at Southeast of Saline, and you faced these Russell Broncos that are coming in here tonight. How long ago does that seem to you? It doesn't seem that long ago to me. No. And what do you remember about that game?
Well, I saw a picture of me the other day, and I look different, I can tell you that. I've aged over the last 16 years. But I remember dang near everything about that football game. We had our first drive of that game. I believe it was 13 plays. Yeah, it was 13 plays, went about 78 yards. We took about 12 minutes off the clock. And as far as being a new coach, not my first time head coach, but a new coach at a new school and everything else, a game probably couldn't start it any better for us. Russell was good, very, very good that year. We played very well in that game. We had some guys do some really good stuff. And at that time, Southeast Saline played Russell numerous times over the years, and it was a bit of a rival. And for us to be able to win that game, 18-15, opening night, that first year was just a big deal to us.
What do you know about this season's version of the Russell Broncos? It's been a few years since we've seen them since they left the NCAA. What do you know about this year's squad?
Well, they're athletic. Russell always has athletes, and they're long and lanky on the outside. Their running back runs the ball very, very hard. Their quarterback, we got to keep him pinned in because he moves all over the place. Their linemen are very good. They have nice size, not huge, but have nice size. Give good effort. So we got to be ready for that. Defensively, they run to the football. They always have been able to do that. They run to the football, get downhill. They're hitters. They're physical. We got to make sure that we're playing at the top of our game. Special teams, they're good at those also. They kick the ball different ways, so we got to be ready for a lot of different stuff.
It seems like when these two teams get together, there's always points scored on both sides. What's your keys to success tonight for your guys?
I think because their offense is explosive, we got to make sure when we're on offense that we take care of the football, move the ball, take care of the football, don't turn the ball over, get first downs, and obviously, we want to score every time we touch the football. So that's what we want to do. Defensively, we got to get a lot of guys to the ball. I think we have to make sure we keep that quarterback from escaping. He does a nice job of keeping plays alive, and we got to keep him in the pocket and make him uncomfortable there in the pocket. And anytime you're in the playoffs, a special team play can make a huge difference in momentum and things like that. So we got to be good there also.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. His guys tonight back at home to take on a familiar old foe in the Russell Broncos. Coach, best of luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Thank you.
Back with more Trojan pregame after this on KINA.
Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Kickoff Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Kickoff Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
1, 2, 3, It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for rural property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojan!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
For 40 years, Phillips Seed has delivered top-quality certified seeds. With wheat drilling season approaching, now's the time to reach out to Phillips Seed Farms for the latest variety options and tailored seed treatments. It's also the perfect opportunity to plan your corn hybrids and soybean varieties for the 2025 planting season. Visit PhillipsSeed.com, follow us on Facebook and X, or connect with a local seed dealer near you. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner.
It's about to get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back into Southeast of Saline's campus. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith as we get ready for the 10th game of the season. And it is Southeast of Saline here at home to take on the Russell Broncos. Russell coming in. Boy, they are on a playoff high. They got their first victory in the playoffs in 46 years 1 week ago when they took the trip to Cimarron. Southeast of Saline, you know the story there. The Trojans trying to make it back to Hutchinson and play the Saturday after Thanksgiving and defend their state title. Glad you could join us for Trojan football. We're just about underway as we are ready to go. Some interesting storylines in this game, and As you heard us talk to Mitch Gebhardt, his first ever game as head coach of Southeast of Saline was against the Russell Broncos. It's an 18-14 game, and since then, Russell has left the NCAA. They've gone to the Mid-Continent League, and we don't see Russell as much as we used to, but it matters. We're seeing them right here in this regional round. Tyler, your new image audio keys to success tonight for these two teams that are playing in the playoffs here in Week 10.
Well, Devin, it's a statement I think all high school coaches, make. The darker your kickoff time is, the darker, the lights are, the darker it is at night, the bigger the game is. You're starting to see there's no light anymore. It's lights. It's Friday night lights. This is what you play for. It's all about the defense tonight, right? I mean, this is Russell offense, averages 33 points a game. They can score. They can score in abundance. It's the Southeast defense only giving up 9 points a game. You're going to rely on them. You have to have a defense to win a state championship. That's exactly where Mitch Gebhardt and the Southeast Saline Trojans want to be. It's the defense, and let your offense just go to work. But here's the fun thing about this. This Russell team, biggest win in 46 years. They're ready to go tonight.
And it seems like whenever these two teams played each other, there were a ton of points scored. Southeast of Saline has a huge advantage in the Gebhardt era, 11-1, but there's always a ton of points scored when these two teams hook up. We are ready to go. They have not met since 2021. They will meet here tonight for their chance to move on in the playoffs. Here's the kick by Southeast of Saline. It'll go to Russell, bounce at the 20-yard line. It'll be picked up there off the bounce. Now the return is on for the Broncos, and a 10-yard return for Russell from Walker Middleton. Let's first meet your Southeast of Saline defense tonight. Brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Up front, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers. Also, Bryson Lippold will be around in the area as well. Your corners, Caden Berrigan, Malachi Hopkins. Will also see Tyler Bramblett in there. Your linebackers, probably the best in the state in Class 2A. Kenyon Douglas, Grady Gebhardt, Killian Vaughn, Amarion Hollub, and your safety is Tiernan Patacic. Those are your Salina Fence, Southeast of Saline defensive starters for tonight. Trip receivers to the left-hand side. For Russell at quarterback, it will be Trey Zorn, the left-hander. Throws a screen play out. It's going to be positive yardage here for the Broncos as they will come out and get a first down. It's a pickup of 11 yards on their first play of the game. Zorn was questionable. He was knocked out of the Beloit game a couple of weeks ago. He did not play in the victory at Cimarron last week, but Tyler, he is out here tonight, and he will sling the football all around the field.
Yeah, and you saw it right there. So this offense is just going to be completely predicated on trying to get the ball in spaces. They're going to try to create like triangles against the defense, find their best athletes, see how they can match those things up, and see if you can get just short yardage on nice, easy passes like that.
Zorn this time, two wide receivers to the left. He's going to send one in motion. Now hand it off. They'll run it straight up the middle with Wyatt Harmon. That'll be a gain of 3 on first down. Bring up second down and 7 for Harmon.
Yeah, and we saw it right there. We saw motion across. Again, this offense, they'll throw a lot of motion at you. They're just trying to reset that defense. I mean, when you come out, you know where you are defensively. You know how you're set up. You call where your tight end is. You call where your strength is. All of a sudden, motion will throw you off a little bit right there. You're going to see Russell do that a lot. So they're going to throw a lot of window dressing, as we like to call it, and then try to keep things nice and vanilla with their play call.
At the 44-yard line, second down and 6 for the visiting Broncos. They are decked out tonight in their all white, red and blue stripes with that Russell logo on the helmet. Here's Zorn rolling out. Little bit of pressure. He's going to complete it over the middle. It's a big play for the Broncos. Kenyon Douglas comes in. Kenyon trying to rip that ball free. And the ball carrier for Russell will make it inside of the 40-yard line. That's Dominic Hernandez with the catch. He will take it all the way into Trojan territory at the 39.
Well, and what a pass right there from Zorn. I mean, Zorn just steps up. He knows exactly. He's seeing that slant. And, again, it's that motion just creates a little bit of confusion. And nice, and just throws that ball right on the numbers, and you just watch the Russell receiver just get the ball, and then the yards after the catch. Big-time catch, big-time yards after the catch as well.
17 yards, moves the ball across midfield, and now at the Southeast of Saline 39-yard line with a new set of downs. First and 10. They will split 4 wide receivers evenly, 2 to each side. Now in motion, here comes Walker Middleton. They'll hand it off, and a big hit up the middle. Wyatt Harmon with the give. He will get 2 yards on the play, but he had to pay the price.
Yeah, right there, and I think it was Gebhardt that comes in and makes that tackle in front. It might have been Killian Vaughn. But regardless, so what you're doing with this motion is you're trying to get these outside backers to follow. You're trying to get the eyes to move. You can't stay stationary for the Southeast defense, and that's exactly what that motion's doing right now. It's gaining yards, and all of a sudden you're going to try to pop a receiver out free. You're going small plays now, but the big play's always in the back pocket.
This is a much different team with Zorn at quarterback. This is also a team that has 12 seniors. Most of them start here on offense. Zorn back to pass. Rips it down the middle again. Here's Thielen. Thielen has some space, and he's going to house it. Down the middle of the field, Sam Thielen, the 6'2 senior with his 28th catch of the year, and it's a touchdown from 37 yards away. Russell is on the board first.
Yeah, and you saw right there, just in that doubles formation, you get Thielen on a slant. There's no safety helping out right there, and Thielen's explosive. I mean, that's a play that you see a lot of teams. If that ball's not thrown on the numbers on target, you're going to make that tackle. Thielen, that ball's thrown perfectly by Zorn, and no one's catching Thielen. That's a good time. It's a good receiver, big-time guy. As you see now, the swinging gate from Russell.
Now a little swinging gate, southeast of Saline style here for the Broncos, as you said. Zorn in the shotgun. Will take the snap. He wants to sprint out left. Now he's going to throw it up over the top of Thielen, and it's incomplete. And Russell gets the first touchdown of the game with 9:33 left to go. They take the opening possession down the field, and they score. We'll keep it right here and introduce you to this Russell offense that didn't waste a lot of time there, Tyler. They went right down the field, able to score from 37 yards away. So when I say Zorn is out here, not only do you have his talent when he's playing, but when he's not here, it kind of was the chain effect, right? You go down the roster, you take your number one receiver, your leading receiver who we just saw score, Sam Thielen, you move him to quarterback. Then you take one of your leading rushers in Walker Middleton, you move him out to Thielen's spot. There's a chain reaction if Zorn isn't available that affects your whole roster. That's where Southeast of Saline was fortunate. They had Tiernan Potacek on the sideline, ready to go. Everybody else is still in their same spot. Russell didn't have that luxury. They needed Zorn back tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you see that Zorn's the real deal. I mean, he flings the ball. I mean, you see this little lefty, and you're thinking a lot like Potacek. I mean, they look a lot alike. They do similar things. The thing you're going to see with Zorn, you're not going to see a big-time run game for him. You know, he'll run the ball. He'll run it on scrambles. He'll run it when he needs to. He'll run it when plays break down, but you're not going to see a quarterback run game designed for him. And that's unlike Southeast Saline. I mean, we've seen Potacek, we've seen Tiernan not only throw the ball in the pocket, we've seen him get out and roll out, but we've also seen a lot of designed run game for him. This is the kind of start that Russell needs. I mean, they came out hot. Like you said in the opening, their first playoff win in 46 years. They're playing with all the whatever and vinegar you need to keep it.
Yeah,
you know,
I got you. Apples and vinegar, man.
The apples and vinegar. That's the radio call, and they got the exact start they needed to get this thing going.
Alex Krug is another one of those 12 seniors, 5'8", 180 pounds. He'll have his hand in the air as he is ready to go and kick it away. It'll be a kind of a squib kick. A couple of weird bounces off the turf for Southeast of Saline, and Tyler Bramblett, thankfully, will cover it up and went through the gloves of Lyric Lilly. And here comes your Southeast of Saline offense. Up front, Tristan Swank, Drew Weller, along with Killian Vaughn, Brody Chambers, Garrett Kuhn. Those are the guys in the trenches. Tiernan Potacek is your quarterback, along with Grady Gebhardt in the backfield. We will see a mix of Caden Berrigan, Bryson Lippold, Kenyon Douglas, Amarion Holub, and Malachi Hopkins, along with Tyler Bramblett for the Southeast Trojans on offense. They start out here at their own 36-yard line. Trip receivers to the left-hand side. They will send Lippold to the motion man. He turns into an extra blocker. Hand off to Gebhardt. He slides to the outside, and look out. Grady Gebhardt is off to the races. Chalk it up. 50, 40, 30, 12, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Full moon is out, and Grady Gebhardt is in the end zone. One touch, one play. Touchdown. Southeast of Saline.
What an absolute just sword that is to the heart of Russell Broncos. I mean, you put together this magical drive, and you've been thinking about this drive all week, and Russell executed it perfectly. What does Southeast come out and do? It's one play to the outside. It's one play up the middle. It's that little zone. And Grady Gebhardt does Grady Gebhardt things.
He made a jump cut to the outside, got to the Russell sideline, and, folks, it was over. I'd never try to wrap up a touchdown call too quickly, but I had nothing else to talk about at that time other than the yardage that he was covering. Here's some misdirection. They're going to have it with Potacek. He's rolling out left, slams on the brakes, comes back to the middle, and there's his man standing right in the end zone. It is Bryson Lippold. 2-point conversion good, and right now that's the difference. 9:22 left to go, first quarter. It's the Trojans out in front for the first time. 8-6 here on KINA.
Trojan fans, it takes fuel to win the day. When you're following our team to show that purple pride, fill your tank with gas and diesel as you're coming or going at our 24/7 pumps. And be sure to stop to get the energy you need with a hot cup of New England coffee or cocoa. Or grab a slice of your favorite Hunt Brothers pizza and snacks. Assyria Oil and Hardware is proud to support the Southeast of Saline community. Located at the corner of Center and Main in Assyria. We'll fill you up.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Not much of a scoring drive to talk about. It's Grady Gebhardt, 64 yards on the touchdown. For Grady, it's his 25th rushing touchdown of the season, his 35th overall, and it puts Southeast of Saline out in front with the 2-point conversion throw from Potachik to Lippold. That's your scoring recap. Brought to you by Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, Dr. Andrew Westbrook. Here's a pop-up kick from Southeast of Saline. Thielen will handle it for Russell. Now look out, he's got some room as he takes it to the 45 and ends up at the 46-yard line. So both teams experiencing pretty good field position here early on in this contest.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Thielen's not a guy that normally you'd expect the ball to be in that second level right there, and Thielen's a legit athlete. We saw all that athleticism on that first touchdown from Russell, but Thielen gets the ball. You got to make sure you get hats around him, and Southeast did that. Did a good job just corralling him in, making sure he didn't bust out loose and get any further than the 5 yards he got on that return.
Russell will start out here at their own 46-yard line, right near the peak of that Trojan logo head at midfield here at Southeast of Saline, Steve Fritz Field. Two wide receivers on the left. They hand it up right up the middle. Go to Wyatt Harmon. He's into the second level, taking on tacklers. Finally drove down by Caden Berrigan, who got a hold of his ankles and wouldn't let go. It's a 10-yard gain for Wyatt Harmon, and Wyatt Harmon is a beast. We didn't have a chance to talk about him, Tyler, but on offense, he has 384 yards, 3 touchdowns. You have to look out, though, for Walker Middleton. He's actually their leading rusher. He had 537 coming into this game. But Harmon, on the defensive side of the ball, 106 tackles coming into tonight.
Well, you saw right there, Harmon, and this offense, when you're talking about that motion, it's all about getting people downhill, and Harmon got the ball right there, ran downhill, did a great job delivering the blow, not taking the blow.
From the 44 in Southeast of Saline territory after that 10-yard gain. Here's Zorn ripping it down the left-hand sideline. That's going to be too tall for his intended receiver, Dominic Hernandez, and that will be out of bounds and second down.
Yeah, and we've seen the athletes right now that Russell has. Max Evans, arguably their best athlete, injured in Week 5, the Butler County Community College baseball signee, did everything. He was also a linebacker, receiver. They've lost him, but you just seem to plug people in.
Second down after the incomplete pass is the first incompletion of the game other than that 2-point conversion attempt for Russell. Second down and 10 from the 44. Russell. Zorn looks left, now comes back right, has a man on the screen. He's going to be hit early and tripped up there as Walker Middleton. He'll make it to the 41-yard line, but that is it. It's a gain of 3 and brings up third down and 7.
Devin, it's the senior Zorn I'm so impressed with. He knows exactly where the ball's going. You see that motion go, so all of a sudden he went from quads right to all of a sudden empty backfield. He had two receivers on the left, 3 on the right. He knew the ball was going to the right, but it's his motion as a lefty to turn the shoulders, kind of give that look that he's thrown to the left, all of a sudden come back to the right. This guy knows the offense.
Third down and 7, a chance here for Southeast of Saline's defense to make an impact on this game. Russell has it on the right hash, 2 wide receivers on each side of the field. Zorn came to the line of scrimmage, now he'll step back on the shotgun. Looks over the defense, expecting the snap. Here it is. Rolling out to the left. He is a left-hander. Ball up high. It's going to be caught by Hernandez. It's going to be a first down for the Broncos. What a catch up top by Dominic Hernandez. He's 6'4", 185 pounds, and we saw it right there.
Yeah, great coverage from Southeast. Just a good play call from Russell, but right there, just Dominic Hernandez was better than everybody else on the field for that play right there. Hernandez goes up, snatches the football, secures it tightly. It's a big-time first down for Russell Broncos.
Hernandez, 2 catches already for the Broncos, 26 yards. Trey Zorn, by the way, he has started 5 of 6 in this passing game. That last pass moved the chains, kept the drive alive, and will put the ball at the 32-yard line at Southeast of Saline's side of the field. 2 wide receivers again split. Here's your motion man. Coming from left to right, it's Walker Middleton, and a flag will fly here as a procedure penalty will be issued on the Broncos, and that will set them back a little bit, back to the 37-yard line.
And, Devin, I don't know if this is an adjustment, but I saw right there with that bubble motion right there, you all of a sudden saw Douglas and Lippold on the same side of the field. They're on that near side if you're watching Salina Post Live right now. That's a rare thing. Normally we see those guys split up, but that motion brought either Lippold or Douglas over, and they're both there to contain that run that we've seen Russell have success with Middleton up the middle.
Gorgeous night for football, by the way. The game conditions brought to you by the Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance. Cloudy and dark for the first time is the first football game in November for us here tonight. 54 degrees. It's only going to cool off about 50 tonight, about 4 degrees decrease from beginning to end of the game. Just a slight breeze under 5 miles an hour. Here's the handoff up inside. Nothing happening there on the middle dive for Wyatt Harmon. Brody Chambers got a hold of the shirt tails and would not let go.
And Devin, we've seen so many teams run this mesh option, this read option. We've seen quarterback run game. It's not dissimilar to what Russell's doing, except they're just going to throw the ball with Zorn. So if Zorn doesn't see what he likes with the give, he's going to throw the ball in that bubble screen on somebody in motion. But right there, you're always making sure, and you saw Chambers do it right there, you're just taking care of your responsibility. This defense is so responsibility sound at all times. You got to do it tonight. Doesn't matter if they're throwing the ball or running.
2nd and 16 now. Russell remains in the spread, 1 running back, 4 wide receivers. Zorn rolling out to the left. Here comes Drew Weller on pressure. Zorn rips it down the middle of the field. It's going to be caught again. Holy cow, what a throw and catch by the Russell Broncos. Up top, getting the catch that time for the first time is Max Evans.
Well, I was wrong with my Max Evans talk. I thought Max Evans was out. And you see Max Evans immediately go to the sideline. I thought he was out for tonight's game. What I do like is everything I said about him being one of the better athletes on this squad. He just showed it right there. He elevated, made a great catch, came down with it. These throws are great. The coverage is good. But right now, Russell's making all the plays on the receptions.
What's the saying? There is no defense for the perfect throw.
There is not.
1st down and 10 for the Broncos. They're at the southeast 14-yard line. Inside that red zone, they're going to give it once again to Wyatt Harmon, who will zigzag his way down to just outside of the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 3 for Harmon, his 5th carry of the game.
On the carry. This Russell offense, they're looking to spread you out. And so when we talk about potentially the best linebacker unit in 2A, what you do against the best linebacker unit in Southeast Saline is you spread them out. You make sure they can't just pound the middle, and this spread offense. Something different we've seen this year. We haven't seen a lot of teams try to spread Southeast out. A lot of teams can't. They don't have the skilled players that Russell does. But it's a nice opening couple drives from Russell.
2nd down and 7 at the 11-yard line for the Broncos. They'll spread it again, 2 by 2. Here's a throw to the right-hand side. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be won by Thielen. He went up that time. Caden Berrigan probably thought he had an interception coming in, but Thielen just stepped in front of him and took it away.
What a great football play right there. First of all, great play by Berrigan, great catch by Thielen, and then another great play from Berrigan to make sure he secured the tackle, and you saw Southeast coming over to get the hats over there. That's an easy play that if you don't get the pick or you don't knock the ball down, you all of a sudden don't make the tackle, but you saw KB just secure and make sure that's not a touchdown for Russell.
We talked about Hernandez and his height is 6'4". Thielen's a big guy too, is 6'2". So both of them big receivers. Right now they're both lined up on the left-hand side. There's a wingback or a tight end, depending on how you want to call it. Alex Krug on the right-hand side this time. Zorn wants to roll out to where his receivers are. He's going to get around Kenyon Douglas, but Kenyon comes back, and Katie with the quarterback sack. It's the 13th sack of the season for Southeast of Saline's defense.
Devin, that was all created by Canyon's leverage. He goes to the outside. He doesn't suck in the inside and make the rush on the quarterback. He sticks with his leverage. He sticks with his integrity, stays on the outside, and then Zorn tries to slip through, and Katie just so athletic. Great play from Kenyon Douglas right there.
Southeast of Saline's crowd getting into it for the first time tonight. Russell has the ball, 4th down and 6. After the sack, they're back at the 10-yard line. Big play early on in this game, 4:17 left to go, first quarter. Here's Zorn. Looked right. Now he looks left. Under pressure. Chambers has him. Chambers won't let go. Chambers with the sack. Back-to-back Trojan sacks. Gets the defense off the field for Southeast of Saline.
Oh, my goodness, Devin Haynes. Just a great individual effort from Brody Chambers. Just when you need it the most. 4th and 6 for Russell. They look like everything's going for him. You see Zorn, and we've seen Zorn, if he gets any time, he gets those feet set, he can make a throw. And you normally see a quarterback as shifty and as athletic as Zorn get away from a defensive lineman, but Chambers just got him in his grasp, dragged him down. Huge play from the senior, Brody Chambers.
That was a 7-yard sack, Tyler, for Brody Chambers. And a net loss of 12 yards for Russell on those back-to-back sacks. Remember, they had the ball at the 5. Now it's back to the 17-yard line where Southeast of Saline and Tiernan Potachik will take over.
Right now some confusion. Russell just substituted somebody on late, and I think Tiernan liked what he had, and all of a sudden there was another player out there.
Tiernan dropping back. He's going to slip a screen, and there's Broncos all over Grady Gephardt. They're going to bat that one down. It's going to be incomplete. First pass attempt of the game.
And anytime I see a defense defend the screen well, that means they're coached well. Cole Greenwood, in second season, Russell, those defensive linemen know if they're not touched and if it feels funny, it's going to be funny. Look for the football coming at you, and they did a good job defending that screen.
Here's the delay give. Gebhardt has it. Now he's going to try the left-hand side. Slams on the brakes. Swats a Bronco down. Gets to the 21. That'll be a gain of 4 for Grady Gebhardt. Also notice again the depth of the Southeast of Saline team. Brody Chambers not out on the field right now with his offensive unit. He was substituted for. Also, right now, Canyon Douglas is riding the bike on the sideline. Amarion Holleben there for offense right now, along with Bryson Lippold. 3rd down and 5 from the 22. See if the Trojans can make some positive gains here and get a first down. It is a 5 wide receiver set, 3 of them to the short side of the field. Russell showing blitz. They're going to come on the backside of Tiernan Potacik. He throws the football, and there's Grady Gebhardt. First down for Southeast of Saline. It's out to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 7.
Devin, such a cool, calm, and collected play from TP. Tiernan Potacik right there rolling out to that right side. Grady knows exactly where the sticks are. Tiernan throws that ball right where it needs to be for a Grady Gebhardt reception and first down for Southeast. Huge just to get another set of downs on 3rd down.
Thielen showed the corner blitz, Tyler, but he was coming from the wrong direction as that time Potacik rolled out to the right. Here's a handoff. Gebhardt, he's in the second level. 35, spin move, 40, 45, 50. He has 2 Broncos chasing as a 40, 35, 30. Now he's at the 20, slams on the brakes, cuts back to the middle, and down at the 16-yard line. Grady Gebhardt showing off again.
You get Gebhardt in the open field. Gebhardt he was involved in all 3 plays prior to that. He made a big-time first down reception on the huge 3rd down conversion. He's got to be gassed. He's got to be winded. You see Southeast trying to go hurry up right now. Grady's putting his hands on his knees. What a great run from Grady Gebhardt.
In the red zone for the first time tonight on their first drive, Grady Gebhardt blew right through the red zone. From the 17, first down and 10. Screen play out to Holleb, and a flag and a whistle will stop this play before it had a chance to happen.
I think that might be a false start on Southeast. I don't know if Grady ever got set. I think Grady still has his hands on the knees. We'll hear for the call from White Hat Doug Sprecher. I think the play call was getting in so fast, Grady was trying to just recover and set himself up. But here's what I love about Coach Mitch Gebhardt's play call right there. Like, he was going fake to Gebhardt, get it out on the bubble, get to the outside, get those guys involved as well. Just a little bit too fast. Grady wasn't ready.
Southeast of Saline with it, first down and 10. That'll back them up to the 22. So now they're back outside the red zone. Here comes Holleb on the end around. Amarion with a couple of blockers out in front. Put his hand on the helmet of a Bronco and then was danced out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. A gain of 7 for Amarion Holleb on his first carry of the night. Back into the red zone, brought to you by Case IH Can Equip in Solomon. Their brand new facility just off I-70 at the Solomon exit. By the way, Grady Gebhardt has 3 carries, 123 yards right now. If you're guessing, that's an average of 41 yards a carry.
And that's normal.
Yeah. Second down here from the 15-yard line. Delay give to Gebhardt again. Grady kind of stepped his way back to the left-hand side. He's such a patient runner, Tyler. We see him get out and explode a lot. Just the patience that he shows. I say it's a delay handoff a lot, and it's not.
No, but he understands what the offensive line is doing. He understands the play call. He understands when a guard's got to come around and lead block for him. He's just so knowledgeable.
So the 8. Gain of 9, that play. 3rd down and 1. Play clock down to 10, still plenty of time. Potacik, that snap was outside. He brings it back in with his right hand. Now he's running to the end zone, spinning to the end zone, scoring in the end zone. Tiernan Potacik saved a snap that was to the outside to his non-dominant hand, brought it back in, took off running to the left, and Tiernan Potacik scores a touchdown for TP. That is his 6th rushing touchdown of the year.
Devin, just a great composure from Potacik. The snaps all over the place. He makes sure he corrals the football. He's got it. Then all of a sudden to have the wherewithal to understand still, okay, so my read's not there. I'm just going to follow my blockers and go. And that's something Tiernan doesn't get enough credit for, is his running ability. Just a great job getting the end zone.
8-yard touchdown run. They're going to have some misdirection, and this will go to Gebhardt, and he will score the 2-point conversion. It is 16 straight points by Southeast of Saline with 1:34 left to go here in the first quarter. 16-6 Southeast. This game on KINA and also live stream video on SalinaPost.com, presented tonight by Assaria Oil and Hardware.
The recent storm could have done a real number on your roof, but how would you know? Is your home vulnerable to future damage? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing today. An in-person roof inspection is necessary to evaluate damage. Rely on Bryson to perform a free roof assessment. Inspect, assess, and resolve. Protect your home and make sure your insurance policy provides the coverage you deserve. Roofs, windows, siding, and gutters on your home or business. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing, always supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Not a much longer drive by Southeast of Saline. Able to get 8 points on the board once again, though. That started, remember, back at their own 17-yard line, an 83-yard drive for Southeast of Saline. Ends up on a Tiernan Patacic 8-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion by Grady Gephardt. That scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook, Maury Clinic Sports Medicine in Salina. Here's the kick from Malachi Hopkins. He'll angle it to the right-hand side. This will be caught at the 32, and then stepping out of bounds will be the Russell Broncos. Making a catch that time was Xander Donner. So Broncos will take over here at the, looks like their own 32, 31.
And right now, if you're Russell, you've had two really good drives. Just one didn't result. You got stuffed on a 4th and 6. You had a quarterback sack. Just a great play from Brody Chambers at the end of that drive. But just continue doing what you're doing. I mean, you want to continue to move the ball down the field. We've seen sustained drives. We've seen them hit big plays. Right now, Southeast just doesn't look in order, but that's all the motion. That's the athletes that Russell has. But you'll see if this is usually when Southeast starts picking up what they do defensively, is just slowing teams down once they get a little bit of taste of what the offense does.
Comes a motion man. They're going to hand it off inside to Wyatt Harmon. He is hit right away, and he will lose a half a yard. An extended conversation right now on the sideline going on between Gannon Jacobson and Garrett Kuhn. I find that interesting. And now Gannon steps over to another player and starts talking with them as well. But he and Kuhn are going through something here, trying to decipher what happened on that last offensive drive.
Devin, I'll tell you what, the one thing, we can talk about Gannon, forever. But when I saw him when he got hurt, 5 or 6 weeks ago, the first thing I noticed from him is he was still trying to carry a clipboard on crutches for the first time in his football uniform, trying to stat the offensive game. Like, this guy, he cares nothing more than Southeast of Saline football.
3 wide receivers to the right. Zorn's in trouble. Zorn's going to go down again. Coming in for another visit for Southeast of Saline's defense. This time it's the first sack of the night for Josh Watkins.
Yeah, you saw Watkins just coming from the outside linebacker position. And again, talking about this linebacker crew, we talk about the quote-unquote starters, but it's just multiple guys that get reps. They understand what they're doing, and Watkins right there just wraps up Zorn. Huge sack for losses. Now Russell's in the 3rd and long. It looks like they might take this down to the end of the quarter.
3 of the last 4 offensive plays for Russell have resulted in Southeast of Saline sacks. They came into tonight with 12. Now they have 15. 3rd down and long here. That was a loss of 9. Here's Harmon out in the open. Gets tripped up a little bit, stays on his feet, and then he will be taken down there and brought down by Josh Watkins at the 30. And that will bring us to the end of a very eventful first quarter. Southeast of Saline leads it 16-6. When we come back, second quarter action, it's Southeast of Saline Trojan football, and it's brought to you by Assyria Oil and Hardware.
Lily Pad Septic, this is Callie. How can I help you flush today?
I just moved out here. I have no idea how this septic stuff works.
Totally normal. You're used to city sewer, right?
Yep, no idea what I'm doing.
Let me get you Flush the Frog. Call.
On it, Callie.
Flush the freakishly fast frog.
I'll hop right over. Most folks don't realize you've got to pump your tank out at least every 3 to 5 years, sir. Or it backs up fast.
Is that why my toilet's gurgling?
Yep, you've got your own private sewage system now. And if you don't take care of it, well, let's just say it gets messy.
Thanks, Flush. Make sure Callie gives you a kiss when you get back.
Will do, sir.
At Lily Pad Septic, we guarantee to inspect your septic system within 24 hours.
Or your next pump out's free.
If you need a flush in a rush, call Lily Pad Septic.
Lily Pad Septic.com.
We'll be there in a splash.
Now, about that kiss.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Back to action, Russell in punt formation, a high punt that's going to meet midfield and then be fair caught over outside of the left hash by Amarion Hollub. This will give Southeast of Saline the football at the 38-yard line as their defense stands tall again. And again, Tyler, 3 sacks here in the last 4 offensive plays for Russell resulted in a loss of 21 yards. Now Southeast of Saline's offense comes back out onto the field.
Yeah, we saw Russell's first 2 drives go, 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 go. And a lot of times you set your script of plays, and they might be a little bit different. You might do something that your tendencies don't show a lot on film. And it looked like that might have been what Russell did, kind of hit Southeast, with a big punch. But, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got to play until they get punched as well. And that's what Southeast has done. You see the defense has settled in nicely, 16-6 with the ball in control of the game.
Moving up front, Russell showing blitz. They're going to bring it. Pitch out right-hand side. Gebhardt. Gebhardt 40-45. Drug down from behind, just short of midfield, and that is a horse collar tackle on Russell. Colton Jones inside the jersey and pads that time as he brought Gebhardt down from behind when Grady was at the 49 after a gain of 11.
Yeah, it's a tough call on Colton Jones. I don't know how else you tackle Grady Gebhardt, but they're making things legal, and they're trying to keep players safe right there. And you see anytime you grab on the back of that jersey and you drag it down, it's a recipe for disaster. Luckily, Gebhardt bounced right back up, but it looks like they're talking about it, because a lot of times you see that out in the open that was more of an inside play. You normally see that out when it's one-on-one. They're going to wave it off, and I think it's the right call. I didn't like the horse collar when I saw it, but it's better to call it and then confirm. Anytime officials talk about things and get the call right, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, I appreciate when they get together and talk about it.
Still an 11-yard gain and a first down. Of course, if you're going to wave it off, you have to explain that to Mitch Gebhardt, and that's what's going on right now. The ball at the 49-yard line after that 11-yard gain for Southeast of Saline, and it's a first down for the Trojans. From the 49. Southeast of Saline, 3 wide receivers to the left. Russell moving pieces all the way around. They had 5 guys with their hand down on the ground on the defensive line. Quick pass out to the left, dancing over there, and a gain of 8, maybe 9 yards on the left-hand side for Southeast of Saline. Pass out to Amarion Hollub at that time.
So what we've seen the last 2 plays, the first 2 plays of this drive, is Russell's going to pack that box. They're going to put as many people within 7 to 8 yards of that line of scrimmage as they can. They're going to force Tiernan Potocik to throw the ball, which I think's all right if you're a Southeast fan, but they're sick of seeing Grady Gebhardt run. They're going to force you to throw the ball to these talented wide receivers.
At the Russell 42, they're going to give it to Gebhardt. He bounces out to the right-hand side, now cuts it back up in the middle. He'll have the first down as he's brought down at the 37-yard line. Quick little gain of 5 that time by Gebhardt.
Yeah, and you saw it right there. And I think there's a lot of Coach Mitch Gebhardt's like, you can pack the box all you want. I trust my offensive line. I trust my running back. We're just going to shove it down your throat.
First down and 10 for the Trojans. Southeast of Saline at the Russell 38-yard line. 3 wide receivers again to the right. They're going to fake the handoff now at the Hollub on the screen play. He's at the 35 and then hit hard from behind. And Amarion goes down at the 32 after a gain of 6.
Right there. It's the perimeter blocking. It's Malachi Hopkins just locking on. He did a great job. He grabbed a hold of Colton Jones. When I say grabbed a hold, he was inside the numbers, did everything perfectly legal. These guys, they take so much pride in their blocking ability. They know if they block, they're staying on the field. They're going to get more footballs thrown to them. This perimeter does a great job blocking for whomever has the ball.
Malachi Hopkins by himself on the left-hand side. Here's a motion man in Hollub. They'll hand it off to Gebhardt. Spin move in the hole. Gebhardt will drag a Bronco down to the 26-yard line. That is a gain of 6 and another Southeast of Saline first down.
Yeah, and we know that Coach Gebhardt likes to go, and he likes to score fast, and he likes to score these long runs. But I think there's something like in that old school football mind to him that just wants to grind you out, and this is a drive that you can do it. Already the ball's inside the 30. I think he wouldn't mind just making this a 5, 6, 7 more play drive, just pound that ball in the end zone.
They move the trips now to the left-hand side, but they empty the backfield, go 5 wide receivers. Potocik in the shotgun all by himself. 3 wide outs to the left, 2 to the right. Potocik now will step away. He'll get a call from the sideline. Now get back in communication with center Killian Vaughn. Here's the fake to Gebhardt. Potocik will keep it. He'll surge ahead just inside of the 25-yard line on a gain of 2.5. His second carry of the day.
Yeah, and again, that's just loosening things up, right? Like you see so much, effort going towards Gebhardt. Whenever you see him in motion, you got to follow right there. We didn't see a huge gain, but it's little runs like that that just keep you they keep you honest. They make sure the defense, they make sure that you're staying with your reads, with your keys, and doing the right thing, challenging this Russell Broncos team not to follow Gebhardt everywhere.
Football sitting on the chalk of the 25. Pitch out Gebhardt, left-hand side. Swank and Lilly out lead blocking, and Gebhardt will stretch it all the way out to the 16-yard line, be close to another Southeast of Saline first down. And it is. Gain of 9. Coming to the stadium today. I'll give you that thought after this play. Here's the give, Amarion Holub. He's going to stretch it out to the right. Gebhardt out blocking, and Amarion will surge ahead to the 11-yard line. That will be for Amarion Holub a gain of 6. My thought was, has Grady had a 25-carry game yet this year? I don't know that he has.
No, I don't know if it's at a 20-carry game.
Right.
It seems like he's usually out early. He's ran all over the place. That's something in the back pocket that a lot of teams haven't seen. You just feed this guy the ball over and over, he's usually going to win.
Back in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can-Equip in Solomon. 3 wide receivers out to the left for the 2nd down and 5. Ball sitting on the 11-yard line in that Can-Equip Red Zone. 8:22 left to go here in the second quarter. Gebhardt off to the left hip of Tiernan Potacek. They'll fake it to Gebhardt. Potacek will keep it. He's on a stretch play. Now he cuts it back up in the middle, and he jumps over the goal line. Tiernan Potacek, his 2nd touchdown run of the night. This one comes from 11 yards away.
Devin, it's the backside guard tackle. Did a great job just clearing the space. Garrett Kuhn was running around looking for someone to take out. Nobody ever came in his way. But when you have Garrett Kuhn, you have him leading the way. Potacek, a great job. We talked about, how patient Gebhardt is. Potacek does the same thing. He just reads his block so well, follows Kuhn to the end zone. Great play from Southeast of Saline.
Southeast lining up for the 2-point conversion. Traditional formation. Amarion Holub has a crease, and he splits 2 Russell defenders. They're going to say no. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
No good.
So they're going to say he did not get there. I thought it was pretty obvious, but he did not get there, said the official on the goal line, and we will take a break. 8:12 left to go. Southeast of Saline leads Russell 22-6 right here on KINA.
At AJ Honey Farms, the honey is just the beginning. From raw honey and wax melts to happy bee balm and beekeeping gear, they've got everything buzzing with local flavor. Whether you're soothing a sore throat, starting your own hive, or gifting something sweet to a loved one, AJ Honey Farms brings the bees and the kind of sweetness only they can bottle.
This is Alan from AJ Honey Farms right here at 901 North 9th Street in Salina, Kansas. We truly appreciate your continued support and thank you for choosing local.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Southeast of Saline with another touchdown. It's the 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Tiernan Potacek from 11 yards away. In Trojan country, you need to be ready to follow the students wherever they compete. Get road ready at Asari Oil and Hardware with new tires, fuel, and snacks for the road or post-game celebration. The Blakes are purple and white for life and wish their coaches and players the best as they continue their postseason run back to a championship. As always, Asari Oil and Hardware screaming, go Trojans. Here's a kick that's going to be on the ground for a while. Russell will pick it up at the 20, now brings it back to the 25-yard line on the return as Walker Middleton for the Broncos.
Middleton on the return.
Yeah, anytime you let that ball bounce on the kickoff return, it's difficult. Your timing's messed up. Everything's, out of flow. Great job from Russell just to collect that football and get as many yards as you can. You'll see a lot of teams try to get lateral. Right there you saw Russell try to get vertical. Get the yards you can. Getting lateral is a bad move. Getting vertical, get at least what you can.
Early scoreboard check. Saline leads Madison at the end of the first, 18-0. Also at the end of 3, Andale leads Clay Center, 51-0. Salina Central leads Goddard after 1, 21-7. Hutch Trinity after 1, leading Republic County, 22-0. As we take a check of the scoreboard. Here it's 22-6. Russell trailing Southeast of Saline. Broncos offense back out on the field as they will start here at their own 26-yard line. Zorn back to pass. He's dancing around. He's going to be sacked again. This one belongs to Drew Weller back at the 22-yard line. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah, and you're seeing this without a dedicated quarterback run game, anytime that you see Zorn drop back, anytime that you see that there's a fake handoff, you know that there's not a designed run for Zorn. So that just gives your defensive lineman, your linebackers, just free reign to go, and you're seeing them corral Zorn. They're doing a great job. He's squirmy. He can get away if he can, but he just can't get away from the hands of the Southeast Saline defense.
Kenyon Douglas, Brody Chambers, also Watkins and Weller, all with sacks here in this first half. 2 wide receivers to the right. They're going to give it to the running back, Walker Middleton. He's into the second level. Look out, he is quick. He is going to have to outrace Malachi Hopkins. Hopkins on the horse. Malachi diving and brings him down at the 30-yard line. Big play for the Broncos. It could have been worse. Tip your hat to Malachi Hopkins on the rundown.
Yeah, great job from Hopkins running that down because, again, when your defense is your strength, you make sure that you make the other team, you make Russell run as many possible plays as they can. But Walker Middleton just shot through the middle of that like a bullet. Did a great job. Huge gain from Russell. Again, just giving them some life again in this first half.
He is their leading rusher. You can see why. Boy, he has a burst. That one goes for 49 yards. And now Russell has it at the 30-yard line in Trojan territory. First down and 10 for the Broncos. That was a refreshing play for Russell's offense. Zorn back to pass. Rolling out to the left. Here comes some pressure. Gebhardt didn't get there. Ball up in the air, and it's going to be caught again. Holy cow, another beautiful catch by this Bronco receiving corps. This one belongs to Max Evans, who went up over 2 Southeast of Saline DBs.
Every play that Max Evans has made tonight has been huge. He's been over people, and he immediately goes out. He's obviously not 100% healthy tonight, but what a fantastic play. Again, great coverage from Southeast Saline. That ball was just... It was only one ball as soon as Max Evans saw it. He knew it was going to be his football to catch. Great reception from the senior Max Evans.
That one goes for 18 yards. And, oh, by the way, Max Evans, he's big dude too, 6'3", 200 pounds. Here's Zorn handing it off inside to Harmon. Harmon will bang his way down to the 5-yard line. A little bit of a gain there. It'll go for 2 yards. Harmon, 7 carries, 18 yards here in this game tonight.
And, this Russell offense is really, really good. They'll spread you out. Here's where things get a little bit tricky when you're a big-time spread offense because there's not a lot of room. Not a lot of room to work with, and you're inside the 5. You got to run the ball up the middle. You got to throw it outside. This is tough for Russell right now against the Southeast defense.
6 minutes left before halftime. The motion man. Now they give it to Harmon, and he is going to be stopped after a gain of 2. Harmon right up the gut that time. 8 carries, 20 yards for him as he's brought down at the 2-yard line. He's slow to get up. And he's limping. He might go over to the sideline, and he will. Looks okay, though, as he's running over to the sideline. Of course, we don't know what's going on with him. 5:35 left to go here, second quarter.
Yeah, and here right now, if you're Coach Cole Greenwood, this is where you call a quarterback designed run. I mean, you have to. You got everything spread out. You got a good athlete in Zorn back there. Get the defense's eyes elsewhere and rely on Zorn's athleticism to get the end zone.
Russell's put Colton Jones in the backfield, left hip of Zorn. Zorn, little fake out to the left. He's going to try to score it himself, and he will be denied. Brody Chambers, one of the first dudes on scene for Southeast of Saline. Got some help up top from his running mates, Killian Vaughn and Tristan Swank. 4th down and goal coming up now from just inside of the 3 for Southeast of Saline's defense.
And you immediately see 4th down and 3. Huge play for Russell to stay in this game, just to stay within nip and distance of Southeast, and Max Evans is back on the field. So right now, if you're the Southeast defense, you got to find number 21. These receivers can all go up and catch the football. You get pressure on Zorn. It looks like Russell wants to talk about it.
4:38 to go. We'll have a timeout here as Russell wants to talk about it. 22-6 is our score. Broncos trying to strike again. Back with more here on KINA. Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 State Championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 State Championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, Copyco also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Out of the timeout, Russell has a plan. Southeast of Saline has a plan. 4th down for the Broncos. Ball sitting at the 2-yard line. Zorn wanting the snap. Pitches out to the right-hand side. Southeast of Saline getting the tackle and getting the stop. First one to arrive is Canyon Douglas as he stopped the forward progress of Colton Jones. His buddies arrived in time, and it's another turnover on downs for Russell.
Man, you felt like that play had that was going to be a huge just marker of how this game goes right there. I thought Russell would be a little bit, we've seen so much motion from them, we've seen everything. That was just very basic, a little quick pitch to the outside, did not fool Southeast at all. Huge play for Southeast of Saline.
The problem for Colton Jones, the hole he was supposed to run through already had been kicked down by Canyon Douglas. As he came in, he made first contact, and then his teammates arrived, and now Southeast of Saline has all their timeouts and 4:21 on the clock as they start out here at their own 5-yard line. Give to Gebhardt, in through the hole, second level, look out, 15. He's drugged down from behind as he makes it to the 20-yard line, and just like that, Grady Gebhardt puts another 15 yards up on the board.
It's pretty nice to get out of you're in the shadow of your own end zone right there. You're trying to get out. What do? You don't have a lot of play calls. We'll just give it to Gebhardt. We'll let that big offensive line lead the way. Gebhardt, again, with that patience and that acceleration, all of a sudden now you're on the 20, 80 yards to go.
Remember, Russell got the football to start this game. Here's a motion man, Canyon Douglas. They give it to Gebhardt right up the middle again. Gebhardt 25-30. Breaks it to the outside, 35-40. Caden Berrigan out front blocking. He's at the 50. Down at the 40. Now at the 30. Gebhardt looking for some gas, and he runs out of bounds inside the red zone at the 20-yard line. Canyon Douglas was still out in front trying to block. And look at Drew Weller out there blocking as well as Grady Gebhardt breaks off another big play for Southeast of Saline.
Devin, it was Caden Berrigan 30 yards, after you see Grady get the ball. He slips on his initial block, but then comes back, and Grady did a great job just setting it up so Caden can come back and make a peel block. That's a special run. We continue. It's hyperbole every time we talk about Grady Gebhardt, but what a special run right there for number 30.
Brought down at the 15. That was a run of 65 yards. Southeast going heavy to the left. They go back to Gebhardt. He's going to go through the middle again. Runs over 2 Broncos for a 5-yard gain, and he's brought down at the 10. Looks like Grady might want to lay there for a little while. He is gassed.
Man, he wanted to. Tiernan was the first guy over there to help him up with the official. Again, we're exhausted just talking about it. We haven't ran at all. This guy's just been running up and down the field and just continues to get the football and eat and eat and eat.
That's a gut check dad call, right? 65 yards. Let's give it to him one more time. See what he has.
There's no more lawns to mow.
That's
He'll take a break.
At the 10. Southeast of Saline with a 2nd down and 5. Fake pitch out, Gebhardt. Potacic's going to keep it. Steps back to the middle, gets around 2 defenders. A flag comes in. He'll have to sort the laundry as Tiernan Potacic was looking for some space. He ended up at the 6-yard line. But I have a feeling this might go against Southeast.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So holding call there
Brings up 2nd down and 15.
on the Southeast of Saline's offense. Tyler's going to make his way down to the Salina Ortho sideline. Have a conversation with Mitch Gebhardt coming up here before he heads to the locker room. 2:55 left to go here in the second quarter. Southeast of Saline leading it 22-6 as that penalty will back the Trojans up to the 20-yard line. 2nd down and 15. Killian Vaughn comes to the line of scrimmage. He'll grab that football, snap it back to Tiernan Potacic. Tiernan looking left. Now he plants his foot in the ground. He wants to run. Tiernan wants some space at the 10. Caden Berrigan blocking. Tiernan lunging. Tiernan short of the goal line. He might have brushed the pylon. At least the breeze from his shoe went by the pylon as Tiernan Potacic had no more space before he was either out of bounds or in the end zone, and they're going to say he is just out of bounds. What a crafty run that was by Tiernan Potacic. Southeast of Saline with the football now inside of the 1-yard line. 2:34 left to go. It is 1st and goal can't get any closer to the goal line.
Yeah, and Devin, here's where we've seen the Southeast team get greedy. They want to score quick. They want to kick the ball off. They want their defense to roll and see if they can score again. You talk about 2-for-1s. They want a 3-for-1 right here.
Pistol formation. Douglas, the motion man. They give it to Gebhardt. He walks it in on the left-hand side. Behind the lineman that time, doing their work up top is Tristan Swank. He had a pancake block along with Drew Weller on the left-hand side. Grady Gebhardt had a leisurely stroll for less than a yard.
Yeah, Devin, you're seeing, again, it's the rotations, it's the substitutions that we see Coach Mitch Gebhardt and his staff continue to have. You're fresh, Russell's not. And that's what you saw in that drive right there. Just a great job from Southeast.
Southeast will go for 2 here. 28-6, and the clock continues to run. They'll have to get a handle on that, as right now it is 28-6, Southeast of Saline, after the 1-yard touchdown run by Grady Gebhardt. We're going to say 2:22, as you can hear in Tyler's mic from the field. 2:22.
They're going 2:20. I think you might have heard some fans.
Okay, well, maybe a suggestion.
Yeah, there you go. A very strong suggestion.
Yeah. So 2:20 is on the clock. 28-6 our score with the 2-point conversion pending as Southeast of Saline trailed early on in this game. Russell punched the first drive in. The opening drive went for a Bronco touchdown. And since then it's been Trojan dominance. Okay, 2:20 on the clock, 2-point conversion pending. This will come at a more of a conventional set. Potachik rolling out to the left, looking to the end zone. He's going to dump it off to Kenyon Douglas, and the 2-point score is good. So Southeast of Saline down the field, they get 8, and they take a 30-6 lead with 2:20 left to go here in the second quarter. You're listening and watching to Trojan football. Tonight it's presented by Assyria Oil and Hardware.
When the time comes to honor a life, Hire Scott Mortuary in Salina is here with care, compassion, and guidance every step of the way. Celebrate memories, cherish family, and find comfort in tradition. Hire Scott Mortuary, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truck Line is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truck Line, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football.
Back here at Southeast of Saline, Trojans have reeled off 30 unanswered points after trailing 6-0. I have a feeling, as Tyler said, they may not be done yet. 2:20 left to go here in the first half. Southeast of Saline still has all 3 timeouts remaining. Russell has 2 timeouts remaining as Malachi Hopkins on the approach for the kick. This is going to be a pop-up. It's going to angle towards the 20-yard line. It'll bounce there. Ball still on the turf. Russell will pick it up at the 20. Now trying to stretch it out to the right-hand side, and they will lose yardage. All the way back inside of the 15-yard line. Tyson Keller in there to make the tackle, along with Garrett Kuhn on the tackle that time, as they are able to hold that Russell return for negative yardage. Now 2:15 left to go here in the quarter. Want to remind you, Southeast of Saline football tonight brought to you by Long MacArthur Ford in Salina. They're rooting for the Trojans to get back to Hutchinson and defend their title. And just this afternoon, fresh off the presses, on my way to the stadium, I got a call from my friends at Long MacArthur. Ford has just announced 0% financing on brand new F-150s. It's a short-term promotion with a 0% on F-150s for 60 months. Make sure you get to Long MacArthur now before November 19th and take advantage of 0% financing. Here's a pass by Zorn in the slot. It's going to be caught, and another sizable gain for the Russell Broncos as Zorn was able to hit Dominic Hernandez that time, and it goes out to just past the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 9.
Yeah, nice little slant play to Hernandez right there. Great catch. Here's that kind of danger zone right now. Like, what do you do if you're Russell? Do you look to score? Do you look to run the clock? Looks like they're going to wisely just kind of slow this thing down. This is a big play, right? All of a sudden, if you don't get this, it's 3rd down. This is 2nd down and shorts, big to see what Russell, that dictates what their strategy is the rest of this half.
2nd down and 9. 2nd down and 1. Russell with 3 wide receivers now on the left-hand side. Zorn wants to roll out to the right. Now he's going to be stopped there. Weller was in his way. He'll throw it over the middle field. And another great catch by Hernandez. He springs free, broke a tackle. Amarion Holub giving chase, and Amarion will escort him out of bounds just after the 50-yard line at the 48-yard line. Another great catch by Dominic Hernandez.
Yeah, Devin, even more impressive from down here. Caught the ball with his hands. Looks like he's limping. They're going to try to get him off the field, and it's going to be a huge loss for the Russell offense and defense if he goes off the field. But yes, I mean this again. So now you're going to go. If you're Russell, you got to go. It's going to be a long field for Southeast to score if they get the ball back. Probably not going to with the clock still running. So now you're looking to score. If you're Russell, you need a touchdown to stay within striking distance.
On the Trojan side of the field at the 48-yard line, 1st down and 10, Broncos. 2 wide receivers on each side, total of 4. Here comes Chambers again. Zorn trying to get away. Chambers with a lunge, and Zorn's going to throw it out of bounds over the top of one of his intended receivers. Cooper Hamlin over here was the closest one to that on the incompletion. It's only the second incomplete pass of the evening for Trey Zorn.
Well, and Trey Zorn just showed his senior leadership right there. He showed his veteranship. He threw that ball out of bounds. He knew that a completion wasn't going to be as successful as just throwing that ball out of bounds. He eluded Chambers, got out of that sack opportunity for Chambers, just gets that ball out of bounds, gets back, regroups, gets a huddle, gets this Russell offense, try to get them all on the same page.
Tyler, I have a state champion coach in my booth right now. We'll talk to Wade Castleman at halftime.
Big time.
2nd down and 10. Russell, 48 yards in front of them. Movement up front, a lot of itchy fingers right now for the Southeast of Saline defense. The 3 down linemen all in a cluster in the middle of that Russell offensive line. Play clock down to 9. Zorn has 3 wide receivers to the right. Still taking the clock down. Now he takes the snap. He's going to roll out. Swank out there in front of him. Zorn's going to throw it back. It's going to be picked off. A flag will fly. Amarion Holub has the interception, but a Russell receiver down in the middle of the field, and I believe that one will be coming back. We'll have to sort it out here from the official. Holub with the interception, but I am hesitant to make it official.
Devin, they're going to call pass interference on Caden Berrigan, and it's a really, from this angle, the officials, they always have different angles, right? The ball was so poorly thrown that the receiver had nowhere to go right there. Same Thielen. He couldn't get to the football. KB just got caught up because the ball was so poorly thrown. Oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough call against Southeast Saline. However, from that angle, the official has a completely different angle than I do. You're going to see pass interference on Southeast.
So they do call pass interference. The interception by Amarion Holub will not count, and now an explanation is being demanded by Mitch Gebhardt. He needs to hear why this happened. And I don't believe he's happy with what he's hearing right now.
No, I can't read lips, but I can read body language. I don't think he was saying good call. But gosh, that's a tough one. That was just a great defense again from your defensive line, from your linebackers. All of a sudden you have 5 defensive backs in the same area. You don't have a Russell receiver because he got caught up with a bad throw. It's a tough call against Southeast.
So now Russell has to change their perspective here a little bit. 48 seconds left. They have 1st down and 10 at the Southeast 33-yard line. Zorn back to pass. He's going to air it out down the right-hand side, and a diving receiver over on that right-hand side. Berrigan once again in coverage on Thielen. Thielen took a great effort to get to that football, but it was just a little too long and an incomplete pass for the Broncos. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Devin, really impressed these perimeter guys from Russell. I mean, we've talked about Thielen, we've talked about, Evans, we talked about Hernandez. I mean, they're going out and getting the football right there. You saw just a great effort from Thielen to lay out, put his body in the line, didn't come with the catch, but that's the effort you need if you're going to try to keep up with the Southeast Saline defense.
2 receivers on each side again. Zorn with a 2nd down and 10 from the Southeast of Saline 33. Here comes the blitz. Zorn's heated up. He's going to step up, though, and avoid Grady Gebhardt. And again, another monster catch. And it's going to be a touchdown for the Broncos. Max Evans went up and got that football. And give Zorn the credit at the beginning of the play. He had to step around Grady Gebhardt, who came on the blitz. And the Broncos put up another touchdown pass. It's the 2nd of the night from Trey Zorn, and this one goes to Max Evans of 33 yards.
Yeah, that was one of those what we call off-platform throws. He has a 3-step drop. He then he makes that throw off-platform. It's not after that 3-step drop, and you saw Evans come back to the football, catch it with the hands, big body, tough to take down by one person, rips the football down, and then takes it the rest of the way. Just a great play from Russell.
So that will stop the 30-0 run by Southeast of Saline. Russell now we'll go for 2. They'll pitch it out to Thielen. He's looking for space, and Bryson Lippold stands him up. There is none. Lippold held him up until he had a chance to get his teammates there, and they will hold Russell to just 6 points. 32.6 left to go here in the first half. 30-12. Southeast of Saline take a 30. Back with the kickoff after this on KINA.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football.
Back here on the campus of SES, Trojan football brought to you tonight by the SES Education Foundation. Also, Kelly Kitchener, your local shelter insurance agent in Salina. Salina Ortho, along with Mary Maids, the Appliance Center, and Stardust Trophies and more in downtown Salina on Santa Fe. 33-yard touchdown pitch there from Zorn to Evans. 30-12 is our score. As Southeast of Saline gets ready to receive this Russell kick, it's a squibber, and Southeast of Saline covers it up nicely. And now, Tyler, the Trojans have a chance to go get one more. James Friesen saving that ball to 46 for Southeast.
Yeah, and Coach Gebhardt talked about this in the opening, in his pregame talk, on the radio, that this is a gimmick kind of kick team that Russell is. They don't kick the ball deep a lot. They're going to give you a lot of different looks. Right there, that ball just didn't get by. And Friesen did a great job getting on the football, getting it down. Now, all of a sudden, with 31 seconds left with 3 timeouts, you're looking to score if you're Southeast. This is that 2-for-1. You want to score here and get the ball back to start the second half.
54 yards in front of Southeast of Saline's offense right now. See what they want to do. They've put 3 wide receivers over to the left, 1 in tight on the right. Patochik wants to roll out that way. It's Caden Berrigan. He slides down. He's going to make the catch, and it's at the 49-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. Gebhardt will call a timeout really, really quick as he comes sprinting in. Patochik that time, a little 5-yard pitch to Caden Berrigan.
So if anything on that roll, I think you just want to see how it goes. But it also, what it does is it puts the ball in the right hash. Okay, so now with the ball in the right hash, you have a left-handed quarterback. He can now work the entire field on the left side. He can roll. You can do so many things. I wouldn't be surprised to see that trips look, and all of a sudden you're going to send Gebhardt in motion. If nobody goes with Gebhardt, it's going to be a quick little screen pass to him and let him go. If they do follow him, watch out for a backside receiver on this side to try to spring free. We've seen so much success on this little screen play. Go to Gebhardt on the left. If they go to this trips look, if I'm making plays, playing PlayStation right now, this is where I'm going. You see trips to the left. I would imagine some kind of Gebhardt motion to that side to get the defenders to look that way.
Would it be silly to hand it off to Grady with the first half that he's had?
Never. It's never a silly play to hand the ball off to Grady. I don't care how much time is left. I don't care if you have to run a mile. I think Coach Castleman would also hand the ball off to Gebhardt, let him run, a 5K and go win a state title for him as he continues to do, because Gebhardt can do it all.
13 carries, 255 yards for Grady Gebhardt in this first half so far. 5 wide receivers here for Southeast of Saline. It's 2nd down and 5 from the Russell 49-yard line. Empty backfield for Patochik. He wants to go out left to Hollab. Amarion has it. 45 now looking for more space. Has it at the 40. Dancing around. He'll be brought down at the 37-yard line. It's a gain of 12 for Amarion Hollab. And Tiernan Patochik is 5 of 6 so far throwing the football. That is safe throw, just getting more space for Southeast of Saline out to Hollab.
Yeah, and you can tell right there the sideline, and you saw the players, the receiver on the right side, they wanted Hollab to get out of bounds. Yeah. I mean, you're throwing that screen out there. It's get as many yards as you can near the sideline so you can step out of bounds, stop that clock, save the timeout. Now down to 1 timeout left. Kind of changes your play call. When you have 2, you have more things in your pocket, but still you have that timeout. You just understand, you get to the sidelines, you get out of bounds, that'll stop the clock. A first down will stop the clock until the chains are set. So if you get a first down here in the middle of the field, usually a lot of times the defense is going to give you stuff in the middle of the field, get up to the ball, spike the ball, have a couple opportunities left. But that 1 timeout still in your back pocket's big. 2 timeouts left would have been much bigger.
16.4 on the clock, as you said, coming up at halftime. We will check scores from around the state of Kansas. We'll also go over stats for you. And we will also have a conversation with Mitch Gebhardt before he goes into the locker room. When we come back after that conversation, we will have a conversation with Wade Castleman. Talk about the cross-country day for Southeast of Saline last weekend at Rimrock. It was another banner day for Southeast. Ball on the left hash, 38-yard line for Southeast of Saline. Again, just 16 seconds left here. Potacik with Gebhardt in the backfield. They will pitch it to Grady. He's stringing it out to the right-hand side, looking for some space. There isn't much there, and he skips across the 35-yard line. Is brought down at the 34 after a gain of 4.
Yeah, and you saw right there, I do love that play call, right? We talked about trying to give the ball to Gebhardt, trying to see if he can run. He was trying to get the outside. When he saw that there wasn't a lane for him to make a move, to get upfield, make one of those Gebhardt runs that we see all the time, he was trying to get out of bounds. Great job from Russell to keep him in bounds and burn that final timeout.
Just took 6 seconds off the clock. There's still 10.1 seconds, but Southeast of Saline is out of timeouts here. So something on the edge towards the sideline, maybe all the way down the field here with 34 yards in front of you. Remember, Southeast of Saline scheduled to get the football to start the second half. So this is almost playing with house money right here, if you will. If they get some points, great. If not, they'll go to the locker room, talk about it, and then come back and try it again to start the second half.
And I think the obvious call right here is a little screen pass, but this Russell team is coached so well. I mean, we've seen them already snuff out the first screen pass. So I don't think that's going to be your call. I think you're going to try to look to get something down here deep and let one of your receivers try to make a play and see what can happen.
You've had Hopkins and Thielen one-on-one on the left-hand side for a long time tonight. They will fake it to Gebhardt. Potacik dancing around. Has some space. Now he's being chased. The door's closing in. He's going to complete it to Hopkins. Hopkins gets out of bounds with 2.2 seconds left at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 14, and that was a frozen rope from Tiernan Potacik to Malachi Hopkins.
And Devin again throwing to Hopkins. Just a great job from Hopkins understanding the situation. Instead of catching the ball, putting on the brakes, trying to get upfield, he gets immediately out of bounds. This is much more manageable. Tiernan can throw the ball from the 35, but he can easily throw it from the 20. Now you can run around, you can make some magic happen, give yourself an opportunity in the end zone on this final play of the half.
5 wide receivers, 4 of them on the long side of the field on the right. Potacik back. He's going to let it go to the end zone. Has a guy, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds, knocked out of play. Up over the top that time was the long arm of Colton Jones. Jones at 6'2", and he was able to knock that football away and save face here for Russell's defense, who goes into the locker room. They scored the first touchdown of the first half. They scored the last touchdown of the first half, but they still trail 30-12 as we have hit the intermission here. Brought to you by Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Southeast of Saline on their way to the locker room. Tyler Smith is on his way to head coach Mitch Gebhardt to get his comments before he goes into the locker room here at the break. Good first half for Southeast of Saline. They reeled off 30 unanswered points and take a 30-12 lead into the locker room.
Coach, 30-12 going into halftime. This Russell offense, super athletic on the outside, came out, great opening drive. What did your defense do to kind of slow them down as the first half went on?
Well, we knew they were athletic. And they definitely are. I think we need to continue playing physical. We need to continue trying to get pressure on the quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing. If he stands back there and can throw it, he's going to do a nice job throwing it up to his athletes. So we got to get pressure on him.
And we've seen them just continue to pack the box, but Grady's still just running all over. This offensive line's continue to make holes. It's more of a, we're going to get little by little by little as opposed to big plays. Just what's this offensive line doing, not only for Grady, but also giving Tiernan time to throw the ball around.
Well, they're doing an outstanding job. And, again, we rotate a lot of guys in and out of that, and all those guys are doing a good job of creating holes for our backs to run through and then giving Tiernan some time.
Excellent, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
On the field, Tyler Smith that time with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Halftime is here. 30-12 is our score. It's brought to you by Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. When we come back, we will talk championship cross country with head coach Wade Castleman. It's coming up after this break. 30-12, Trojans lead the Broncos at the half right here on KINA.
Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knauf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knauf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Hurry! He's coming! He just got Sally! Get the keys so we can unlock the door!
Oh, settle down. These guys never run, and our getaway car is already running since I have a remote start from New Image Audio.
Oh! How did you do that so far away?
Easy. I just used my phone. It has nationwide range, and I knew exactly where the car was because it gave me the location.
Wow! When we get to safety, I'm calling New Image.
Be safe and comfortable this spooky season with a remote start from New Image Audio. 340 South Broadway in Salina, or call 785-309-1617.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here at halftime, Southeast of Saline leads Russell 30-12 on the scoreboard. Grady Gebhardt 259 yards in that first half. More stats coming on the way here on the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. But first, we have to flash back and relive some good memories, some recent memories with Wade Castleman, Southeast of Saline cross country last week. Of course, the boys took the full team to the Class 3A cross country state title meet, and you had a few girls go run as well. What a great weekend, and just a stark contrast between weather last weekend in Lawrence and the weekend before in Wichita. I was just telling you on the air, I saw a video that Tyler Henry shared with me of your regional and the course in Wichita, and I think you were being extremely nice when you told me it was a tough course. I saw kids sliding down the hill on their rear ends in mud, and I mean, it was just what a difference it was in Lawrence last weekend.
It definitely was. The course conditions were perfect last week. It was a beautiful morning, nice, cool, crisp air, and our kids really liked that type of weather, so it worked out great in our favor.
Started with the ladies. You didn't get the whole team in, but you had some really good performances, including a top 5.
We really did. Piper Brown earned all-state honors with her 5th place time, or finish, and Anna Jackson and Ava McGraw, they did a nice job comparing times from the first meet when we ran there in late September. Everybody ran faster this time, and I think weather and course conditions had a lot to do with that.
And we talked about this girls team for you a lot. No seniors. What a great experience for those young ladies to go and perform the way they did.
They really did, and I know they're already looking forward to next year. We have some 8th graders that will be coming in that will give us even more depth, and I think some of those girls will step in to some important roles on that varsity squad next year.
So you told me to keep an eye on Wichita Trinity, a couple others on the guys' side that you thought were your main competition. Boy, your guys rose to the occasion last weekend, didn't they?
They really did. We got to see Wichita Trinity at regionals, and we knew our regional was going to be tough. As it turned out, the top 3 teams from our regional, both on the guys' side and the girls' side, team-wise, were the top 3 teams at state this year.
So you end up having a great day. Go through some individuals for me. Let's highlight all the guys that did well for you last weekend.
All right. Well, Braden Walker ended up 2nd place overall, earned all-state. Jacob Bircher was 17th overall, and Zachary Carlin was our other boy that earned all-state honors. We had 5 boys in the top 25 with Edgar Calzada, Brooks Carlin, and then the final 2 were Cole Franklin and Caleb Knauf. And the boys also ran season best times for them and really ran strong.
So another state title. You get to do another banner in the gym, which has become a regular thing during the winter, during basketball season. I get to see you again because we're putting another banner up in the rafters. But you do have some seniors on the guys' team. Just talk to me about those seniors. Boy, what a career that you guys have had with some of those kids. And some of them aren't done yet. They're still going to come back. But guys like Braden Walker, and man, it seems like every time we talk, it's his name that just keeps coming towards the top.
Yeah, and, the boys aren't being recognized tonight at halftime here because 9 of the 10 of them are in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, running in a cross-country meet tomorrow on Sunday. And but just great leadership from our seniors, Braden and Jacob and Isaiah Kerr. They've been, with me for 6 years, all of them, and they've brought great leadership. The kids look to them for that leadership, and they hold the other kids accountable. And it's kind of like having extra assistant coaches with having them on the squad.
And what a great feeling when you have a goal and you set out. And we talk about Southeast of Saline cross country every year. There's one goal that you guys want to attain, and that is in Lawrence, getting on the bus and bringing back another trophy with you. And just what a great feeling that is for you. Does it ever get old when you just walk out there and people are looking at you and giving you congratulations and things like that? You've done it so much. And Tyler Henry put together a graphic and just, put it on social media with all the cross-country titles. And, of course, it started before you, too. There's a rich tradition here at Southeast of Saline. But, boy, it just keeps going.
It does. And, no, I don't ever take it for granted because you never know when it's going to end.
Yeah.
I've been blessed over the last 23 years to have great kids that have bought into our system. And, Southeast of Saline Cross Country is known throughout the state. And, I hope that it just continues on each year.
Well, maybe if we get the kids off the course next week and the football team continues on the path they're on tonight, maybe we can see them on the track getting recognized next week. How's that sound?
That sounds great, Devin.
Thanks, champ.
Hey, thank you.
Wade Castleman, he's the head coach of Southeast of Saline Cross Country. They have another trophy, the boys state champions in Class 3A. Here at halftime, 30-12, our score. Southeast of Saline leads Russell. Back with more after this on KINA.
When crop and weather conditions are just right, you need to bale as much as you can, as fast as you can, all while putting up the highest quality product possible. Case IH round balers have the reputation as the hardest working balers in the business to consistently build dense bales with square shoulders that don't sag. No matter the crop or field condition, bale more with Case IH round balers. With easier maintenance and serviceability, you'll spend more time where it counts. In the field, baling hay. Ready to build a better bale? Contact Can Equip in Solomon.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilt in Salina. If you need to stay warm, we have Field Shear heated gear. We have base layers, zip-up sweatshirts, light jackets, coats, and socks. Ladies, we also have vests and jackets for you. These items all come with a lithium rechargeable battery. They also have an on-off switch with low, medium, and high. Keep warm with Field Shear at Vanderbilt in Salina.
The Kansas City Chiefs earn championship rings. Bold, brilliant, and one of a kind. Now you can have a ring that's just as unforgettable. At Vernon Jewelers in Salina, we create custom rings that tell your story. From stunning engagement rings to personalized designs, our craftsmanship makes every piece a winner. Celebrate life's biggest moments with a ring that's truly yours. Stop by Vernon Jewelers, downtown Salina since 1884. We're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
Opening our doors in 1999, Salina Surgical Hospital specializes in excellence in surgical services and digestive health care. It is the depth of experience and the abilities of the physicians and nurses at Salina Surgical Hospital that make it the ideal place for high-tech and high-touch to unite. Patients tell us, I knew I was in good hands with the friendly and knowledgeable staff at Salina Surgical Hospital. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football.
Back here at Steve Fritz Field on the campus of Southeast of Saline High School, 30-12. The lead here for Southeast of Saline as they gave up the first touchdown of the game, but since then it has been Trojans as they will get the football to start second half. And Southeast of Saline with a 30-12 lead. As we take a look at stats from the first half, brought to you by the Bank of Tesket. Let's first start with Southeast. 6 of 9 passing the football for Tiernan Potachik, 53 yards for him. No touchdowns, no interceptions. His main target, Amarion Holub, has 3 catches for 27 yards, 1 catch for 14 yards for Malachi Hopkins, 1 catch for 7 yards to Grady Gebhardt, and a catch for 5 yards to Caden Berrigan. On the ground game, it is Southeast of Saline's dominance. Grady Gebhardt with 14 carries, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns for Gebhardt in the first half. Tiernan Potacek, 4 carries, 36 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Amarion Holub with a carry for 7 yards. For the Russell Broncos, Trey Zorn, 11 of 14, throwing the football around the yard. His best target so far, Dominic Hernandez, 4 catches, 61 yards. Max Evans, 3 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. Sam Thielen, 2 catches, 43 yards and a touchdown. Walker Middleton, 2 catches and 14 yards. Rushing the football, Russell right now with 20 yards from Wyatt Harmon on 8 carries. Walker Middleton had that one burst for 49 yards. Colton Jones carried it at the goal line on a 4th down play, lost 3 yards. And Trey Zorn has 5 carries for negative 24 yards. Remember, there were 4 sacks in there from Kenyon Douglas, Brody Chambers, also Josh Watkins, and Drew Weller. Final numbers of the first half. Rushing, Russell with 42. Southeast of Saline with 302. Russell with the advantage in passing with 193. Southeast of Saline with 53 total yards. Southeast with the advantage here at the break. Russell has 235. Southeast of Saline with 355. Once again, our score here at the half, 30-12. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, scores from around the state of Kansas. 72 football games going on tonight across the state. And we will chop that in half before the end of the night. Actually, let's just make this a 1-minute timeout. We'll step away, come back with more Trojan football. Here at halftime, Trojans lead it.
Your mailbox is stuffed full and the phone keeps ringing. There are even strangers knocking at your door. Open enrollment time for Medicare and prescription drug plans is here, and it brings all kinds of unsolicited activity. Call a local firm with people you know at L&L Advisors. Plans can change pretty drastically year to year, and the agents at L&L Advisors are happy to answer your questions, give advice, and make you feel at ease. With 2 locations in Salina on Road Street and Central Mall, and on South Main and McPherson. Built on honesty and trust, call L&L Advisors today.
Visit Suburban Appliance Center to see the Whirlpool washer with 2 ways to wash. This is the 2-in-1 removable agitator. This Whirlpool washer has flexible capacity. You can take the agitator out for bulky loads or keep it in for items of smaller loads. This opens up space in the wash tub and allows you to wash bulky items like comforters with no problems. Shop at Suburban Appliance Center and get twice the washer you have at home. Suburban Appliance Center. Quality service with every purchase. Located on South 9 next to Genesis Health Clubs.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here at halftime, Southeast of Saline leads at 30-12 as we are back here just about ready for third quarter action. I want to remind you, Long MacArthur Ford right now, this just came down from Ford this afternoon. 0% interest on all new F-150s. They have over 100 trucks in stock with 0% for 60 months, plus no payments until February of 2026. This is a short-term offer. It's good with approved credit and will expire on November 19th. So the window is small, 0% on all brand new F-150s right now at Long MacArthur on the south side of Salina, or you can shop online when you get home from the game, longmacarthur.com. It does exclude Raptor models. So, Tyler, vibe on the field, pretty good for Southeast of Saline. As I said, Russell scored the first touchdown of the half. They scored the last touchdown of the half, but in the middle, there were 30 points scored by Southeast of Saline, led by the ground game and a dominant first half performance for Grady Gebhardt.
Yeah, and I think anytime that you have a 30-12 lead and your 2 strengths from the Southeast of Saline team are your defense and your running game. So a 30-12 lead, as we were just talking about, might as well be 60-12. Does Coach Gebhardt want to just milk the clock and just grind it? Because he knows he's got the defense. We know this Russell offense. I mean, they've showed now on their 2 scoring drives, they can score quick. That one drive, they got into a 4th and 6, got into a slippery situation, big-time play by Southeast. They can score, but will they have enough possessions? It can turn into one of those games if you want, but I have a feeling this is one of those games. It's 30-12 at halftime. It could just be that grind from the Southeast depth. From the guys we see up front, we talk about, how many substitutions, how many rotations they have. This is a game that could get out of hand if you just rely on what you do and continue to drive the ball down their throat.
This is a Russell team with 12 seniors. They are all playing and contributing tonight. Head coach Cole Greenwood in his second season. And you look at these seniors, they went through the system from Christian Azores, who is now the head coach at Salina South. South tonight out in Liberal, Tyler, and they are in a dogfight for the second week in a row looking to win.
Yeah, they are. They're up 9-3 right now at half. And I'll tell you what, Christian Azores, good friends with him, and he talked about, like, it was a tough move him coming to Salina South because he knew he had this big group of seniors. I mean, he thinks very, very highly of them. He speaks very highly of his time in Russell, loves these guys, and you're seeing why. I mean, they're wide open. They go. I mean, they can play with anyone. You know, they've had some struggles. You know, we talk about that 4th and 6. You think about how much different this game is. If all of a sudden that 4th and 6 is converted, they score the touchdown there. But they're just a couple plays here and there away. But that's what separates good teams from great teams. The teams that can't make those plays consistently, that's what we've seen Southeast do. They've continued just to make plays, make drives. They've taken advantage of every single one of their opportunities. Every single one of their possessions has resulted in a positive possession for them. You continue to do that, it's tough to lose a game.
And how super cool is it that Coach Azores cannot come watch his former team play? He's busy right now for the second week in a row, looking to get it done again, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir. This is a fun battle. As a former Cougar, not a graduate, but a former staff member there, I'm excited to see those Cougars up 9-3 at half, and to see those guys, you know, do things that nobody thought they could do. It's fun. I'm following the game as much as everybody else is probably listening to us. It's good to see. How about all Saline County? You know, we're seeing great success. Salina Central's obviously proven what they've done year in and year out. You're seeing El Saline just continue to do things with Coach Roche and Southeast Saline. It's funny. People always want to talk about, you know, how great the good old days were, where I think everybody's showing Saline County, like, we're all right. Like, the good old days could be now.
Salina Central up on Goddard at halftime, 28-14. Also, Rural Vista had a tough go at it tonight. They were a team on the up-and-comer. They ran into Axtell tonight, though, in that game over at halftime, 46-0. Salina South, as you said at halftime, they're up 9-3 out in Liberal. Also, Hayes leads Hutchinson 13-0 at half. Andale beat Clay Center tonight, 51-6. El Saline leads Madison 18-0. Was the last check of the score that we had on that. So things going good so far. The last check we had on Lincoln, they were up 34-20 at halftime. So we'll keep you up to date on all the scores from across the area. As I said, 72 games going on tonight in all classes around the state of Kansas. Here is an onside kick that's going to be covered up by Southeast of Saline. And once again, the Trojans handle that very, very well, and they will get good field position out of it as a reward. Lyric Lilly covered that one up for Southeast of Saline on the front line.
Yeah, and when you always have kind of a tricky kick game, that means your front line's always prepared for that, and Southeast is always prepared. I mean, for instances like this, they haven't had an opening, they haven't had a second half return where they haven't been in the lead. Every time they're, having the ball in the second half, that opening kickoff, it's always a time that you kind of shift momentum right there. They were ready for the onside kick. Great job.
Starting at the 48, let's see what the Trojans want to do with the football here. Opening drive of the second half. Here's the give to Gebhardt. He's trying to sprint out to the right-hand side. He'll run into two Broncos and be brought down at the 50-yard line. It's a gain of 2 for Grady Gebhardt. Pulling out in front of Gebhardt that time was Garrett Kuhn out there trying to block. Of course, Caden Berrigan out there as well.
Yeah, good job from Russell just stringing that play out. You just want to continue to string it out, let your defensive backs get involved right there. And you saw that's exactly what we want to do for Russell, just string things out. But if you're Southeast Saline, it's fine. Just keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock ticking.
It's a compact formation, not anybody out wide here. Potachik's going to roll out. Now he's going to let it rip down the hash, and it's just off the fingertips of a Marion Hollop that time. He was covered up by Sam Thielen at about the 25-yard line. Hollop, I thought, was still going to come up with it, but it falls incomplete.
Devin, what a great play from Thielen. Thielen got beat initially on the cut, never panicked. He just kept the eyes on Amari. I mean, he just made sure he didn't panic. All of a sudden, his hands went up. You saw Thielen put his hands up. He did enough to interfere with the pass reception opportunity. But, again, never panicked. You panic right there. All of a sudden, it's a pass interference. It's a positive play for Southeast. Just a headsy play from Thielen.
3rd and 8 for the Trojans from the 50-yard line. Motion man is Hollop. They give it to Gebhardt. Gebhardt surges through. He disappears, then he comes back out of the other side and has a first down for Southeast of Saline at the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 9 for Southeast of Saline. Grady Gebhardt needed 8, and he got 9.
Oh, Devin, that's exactly figure out how to get 8 yards. So what do? A little window dressing, a little motion. All of a sudden, it's Gebhardt up the middle, and he fights hard not to get 8, but he got 9 right there to get the first down.
Hopkins and Holub split to the left-hand side. That's a long side of the field. Potacik wants to roll out. Now it's a throwback. Gebhardt out here on the screen. They had 3 offensive linemen ready to block, but it was knocked out of the air by Russell. Great play by Corbin Williams that time, getting airborne and knocking that ball out of the sky.
Yeah, great. I mean, there were 10 guys fooled from Russell on that play right there, but not 11. The 11th was Corbin Williams. He sniffed that thing out, made a great play. If he doesn't make that play is going the other way to the house for Southeast of Saline.
Potacik waiting on the snap on a 2nd down and 10 from Killian Vaughn up front. Now Tiernan will step away, look over to the sideline. He has an empty backfield and 5 wide receivers. Gebhardt and Berrigan to the right. Potacik will send Gebhardt in motion. They will fake the handoff. Now Potacik straight up the gut. Has Chambers out in front. Stumbles a little bit, but he'll bring it inside of the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line. A gain of 13 by Tiernan Potacik.
And again, it's Potacik's ability to run the football. I mean, it's so you do the check with me. What check with me means is you have all your offensive teams lined up. You give a fake count, hoot. Nobody goes. All of a sudden you see, they realign, they look at coach, they get the play call, but it's Potacik's ability to run the football that's making it so difficult for this Russell defense.
5 wide again for Southeast. This time they do give it to Gebhardt. He's rolling out to the left-hand side. Holub and Swank out in front blocking, and Gebhardt will be brought down at the 20-yard line. A gain of 8 for Grady Gebhardt. 17 carries, 278 yards now as he keeps inching his way towards 300 yards rushing.
And none of them have been easy. I mean, this Russell defense, they're there. There's people, this athletic, they're running around everywhere, but it's just Grady and this offensive line. They're doing such a good job.
Berrigan split out wide to the right. Here comes Holub in motion. They slip it in the belly of Gebhardt again. Spin cycle, runs over a Bronco, and then is brought down just outside of the 10-yard line. They're going to say it's at the 12, and that will be a gain of 8 and another 1st down for the Trojans.
And you'll take this at the 12. Like the 11 and the 12 are kind of the ideal place to be when you're starting a new set of downs. When you're inside the 10, all of a sudden you have that goal to go situation. But now you can still gain the 1st down without getting a touchdown. So now all Southeast needs to do is get the ball inside the 3-yard line to get another 1st down instead of fresh downs.
We'll call it the 13-yard line in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Caniquip and Solomon. Here's Potacik, fake pitch out, wants to go to the end zone, has a receiver, and it's going to be incomplete just in front of the intended receiver, a Mauler on Holub that time. That ball had such a vapor trail on it, I barely saw it go into the end zone, but it's going to be incomplete for Southeast of Saline, who's 0-3 passing the football to start the second half.
Yeah, it looked like Gebhardt wanted on the rollout to go outside to Hopkins. He didn't have Hopkins, kind of pump faked it, then still has time to regroup himself, throws the ball on a line, just Holub couldn't come up with the catch.
Trip wide receivers to the right-hand side. Gebhardt directly behind Tiernan Potacik in the pistol. Bryson Lippold will be right behind Chambers as a wingback. Potacik gives it to Gebhardt. He's following Lippold through. Gebhardt slips a tackle at the 3, and he's going to walk it in. It's the 3rd touchdown of the night for Grady Gebhardt. That time running behind Bryson Lippold, and it's a touchdown from 13 yards away.
Devin, it's old school, just guard tackle, but instead of having that tackle come, you're letting that tackle take that backside 5 or 7 technique, and it's Lippold leading the way. So your guard's kicking out, then you're just following Lippold through. Great job by Bryson Lippold, just creating a hole.
Here's the fake to Gebhardt. Now Potacik has it, out dancing around with a Bronco. He goes left, goes right, goes back left. Now he's back to the right, and he'll finally go down back at the 10-yard line. Southeast of Saline does not get the 2-point conversion, but they put another 6 on the board with 9:45 left to go. Here in the 3rd, Trojans on top, 36-12 on KINA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
52-yard drive for Southeast of Saline to open the second half. It's capped off by Grady Gebhardt. 13-yard touchdown run for Gebhardt. It's his 3rd touchdown of the night, 27th touchdown on the ground on the season, and Southeast of Saline sticks another 6 on the board. In the third quarter, brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Cole and Callie, I bet they're still getting used to that parent life, right? Huh? They're a little new one in the world, and they are still supporting Southeast of Saline sports as they always do. Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Adam Thielen will kick this one away for Southeast of Saline. So he puts his foot into it. It's a high end-over-end kick, angling towards the sideline. It will go out of bounds, and Russell will have the football to start out here at their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, we're seeing these angled kicks. I mean, it's kind of a flip of the coin. The turf makes things a lot easier, right? Like last year, you see this thing on a slippery grass. You never know which way it's going to go. You start pounding this thing in the turf. You start getting the direction. But I like the angled kick, especially when you have one deep guy. You get it past that mid-level. You let that one deep guy try to figure out how he's going to receive the ball. You let that ball bounce. It gives your guys more time to get down the field, and then it makes it awkward. You get upfield or you try to get lateral. We talked about that earlier on, and we saw that the last return from Russell. We saw Middleton try to get lateral, didn't get anything out of it. You're always trying to just make things a little bit awkward for that kickoff return guy.
Russell will come out their first possession of the second half as they trail Southeast of Saline 36-12. Football at the 35-yard line after the kickoff went out of bounds. Zorn, screen pass out to the right. Couple of blockers out there. Doesn't matter, though. Canyon Douglas out there to take down the receiver. It's Walker Middleton. It will be a loss on the play of 2 yards.
Yeah, what a play from Douglas right there. You saw Sam Thielen do a great job locking him up immediately, and all of a sudden he sheds Thielen as a blocker and makes that tackle Middleton. We've seen Middleton scored away from a lot of plays right there. Really difficult to score away from Canyon Douglas, though. Great leverage, great positioning, fantastic tackle from the senior.
I made the comment to Mitch Gephardt, boy, Canyon Douglas sure looked a lot better. Looked like he's getting healthy at last week's game, and Coach told me you should see him in practice this week. That told me Canyon Douglas is pretty good right now. 2-yard loss there for KD in this defense. Now they hand it off. Harmon off the right-hand side of that offensive line. He'll get that 2-yard loss back and then add 2 yards. It's a 4-yard carry, brings up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, and here's where we've seen this is when Russell's going to spread you out, and they're going to utilize their athleticism. I mean, these receivers are as athletic as anybody we've seen this season easily, and I don't know how many teams in the state of Kansas at the 2A level have receivers this athletic. And you're going to look, Max Evans is back in the game in a slot on our side.
Big and athletic. That's the key. See Evans out here. He's towering over Canyon Douglas. 3rd down and 8 for the Broncos. Line of scrimmage here at the 37-yard line. They have 3 wide receivers in a formation to the left. Zorn looking for the snap. He wants to screen out to this side. Screen is to Cooper Hamlin. Hamlin looking for space, trying to stretch it out. He is shoved out of bounds by Malachi Hopkins near the 40-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down for the Broncos after a gain of 3 yards.
And, Devin, that's not a play that's going to jump out if you're watching highlights. It's probably not something that's going to be part of the highlight package, but that's a huge play from Malachi Hopkins. He sees that pass, and he just gets downhill. That's what Hopkins is so good at. When he gets his hands and his body near you, he's normally making the tackle. That's a big-time play from Hopkins.
There's a huge difference in the physicality and the strength of Malachi Hopkins between last year and this year.
He's just kind of got that little that dog in him, you know. I mean, he can play. He's going to make a big time play, and that he just displayed it right there.
4th down and 6 for the Broncos. They are in a half huddle. By that I mean the line and the quarterback in a huddle. All the wide receivers are already in their spots, and they're still making adjustments. They're going to go empty backfield here. They'll have a tight end and 4 wide receivers. Zorn back to pass, gets it out early. Hernandez with the catch, has a 1st down, and he will be drugged down by Malachi Hopkins, but not until he crosses the 50-yard line, gets to the 49. It's a gain of 12 for Russell out to Dominic Hernandez.
Yeah, Russell just running hitches there. I mean, right there, if you're Southeast, you're not going to let anybody get by you deep, so you're playing off, and Russell took exactly what they needed to take. They all got past the sticks. They all put their hands, displayed them. If you're Southeast, you'll let them have that. You'll see if they can now continue and make it another drive and get another 4 downs right here.
Lippold and Douglas now will go out. They will be the outside corners from their outside linebacker spots. They're going to take on these wide receivers. We see this quite a bit from Southeast of Saline. 1st down and 10 at the 49. Zorn out to Hamlin on the screen. Hamlin gets by the first wave of Southeast tacklers, but then brought down after a 2-yard gain. Well, let's give him 3 on 1st down. And he'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Killian Vaughn gets up from the bottom of that pile.
So it almost looks like Russell has conceded running the ball up the middle. They know that they cannot beat Southeast in the middle, so they're going to use those long, athletic, and big wide receivers on the outside and just try to create – it's a run game out there, but they're trying to get the ball to the outside and let those receivers do the blocking. The problem for Russell is Southeast can tackle. I mean, their defensive backs, they're flying around. The linebackers are getting involved as well. They're making it really tough for Russell.
Douglas and Lippold again on the outsides, this time just on opposite side of the field. Zorn wants to hand it off. He goes to the quick scat back, we'll call him, Walker Middleton, and he gets close to a first down. He's 2 yards short, though, down to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 5 for Middleton.
Yeah, and again, spread the field out to get that motion, just get people out. And now they've ran a few plays at the outside. Now give it to Middleton up the middle. It's a good gain for Russell just to keep the ball moving forward. Give yourself 3rd and short, obviously four down territory. So this is a play, the whole playbook's open. This is a play you might want to go deep because you know you have a 4th and 2 if you don't complete the pass.
3rd down and 2 from the 41. Russell. Big receivers in the slot each side. They'll give it off to Middleton, and he is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Swallowed up. Middleton had nowhere to go. Grady Gebhardt might have been the first one through. Swank gets up off the pile, and there at the bottom, once again, is old 5'6", Killian Vaughn.
Yeah, he continues to be the guy getting up late. Like, anytime you see a ball up the middle, it's usually Killian Vaughn that's somewhere in that middle linebacker role. That's his job. He's taking care of the A gap, the B gap. He's in charge of that trash right there in the middle. You're going to let the other guys run around and do the other things, but his job right there is to make sure Middleton doesn't spring free.
4th down and 2 for Russell. See if Southeast of Saline's defense can stand up once again. The ball's at the 41-yard line. Middleton will move right hip of Zorn. Zorn asking for the snap, fakes the handoff, wants to pass. It's complete out to Thielen on the edge. Berrigan will make the tackle. It's the first down for the Broncos, down to the 29-yard line after a gain of 12.
God, and again, just a great job from Russell. I like the play call. Again, let's not get too creative, too splash, too anything, too fancy. It's just get your guys past the sticks. We just saw a little fake action right there just to get linebackers' eyes somewhere else. Makes a nice throw. Zorn continues to throw those balls on the target. But the more difficult thing is catching that ball every single time. We continue to see the Russell receivers do that.
I'm impressed, Tyler, how quickly that ball comes out. When Zorn knows where he's going to go and that receiver's open, boy, he can rip it to the outside.
Yeah, he sure can. That's a guy that knows the offense and then has the physical attributes to show that he knows the offense.
First down and 10, Broncos at the 29-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Weller's in there, but the ball comes out, and it's another catch, this time inside of the 20-yard line for Max Evans. So Evans makes another one. It's his 4th catch of the night, and this one goes for 9 yards.
Yeah, and again, it's
more than that.
It's Zorn coming back, and it's off platform. He has to shuffle his feet. He can't get his feet underneath him, but still makes a strong throw. It's interesting to watch him and Potacek both throw. 2 left-handed quarterbacks. The flow is always, it just looks a little bit different from lefties, but gosh, they look so smooth when they get the ball out.
Evans' 4th reception of the night, 85 yards. Meanwhile, Trey Zorn is 6 of 6 passing the football here in the second half. Here's a little handoff inside. Middleton has it. He's sprinting to the outside, and he's going to get about 3 yards on the play. We'll give him 2, 2nd down and 8.
And Devin, here's where you're seeing the Southeast of Saline defense really work. I know that Russell's moving the football. They're putting together a nice drive, but when you're down 36-12, that clock is ticking.
It's taking a long time.
It just keeps going, and that's exactly what you need to do defensively. It's okay to give up points as long as they're not quick points, and that's where the Southeast defense is really digging their heels in and doing a great job.
And Russell in no hurry here, really. I mean, they're walking to their spots. They're taking an awful lot of time, looking at the sidelines. I get they need to be deliberate. They need to be careful. You have to have points here if you're the Broncos. But, boy, that clock's running fast. 2nd down and 8. Here's the handoff. Thielen trying to work for some space. There's a missed tackle by Kenyon Douglas who came sprinting through. But he put Thielen just enough off his path that Hopkins, Swank, and Killian Vaughn once again could come in and make the tackle.
There's nobody more upset with himself than Kenyon Douglas for not making that tackle, but what he did is that leverage he maintained, which made Thielen continue to go to the outside, and that just gives your dudes time. That makes sure there's purple hats all over the place once you saw Douglas just kind of get Thielen off his line.
And give Douglas credit there. That play resulted in a 1-yard loss, so he started something good for his defense. 36-12 is our score, 3:23 down. Now, clock down now in the third quarter. 3rd down and 9 after that 1-yard loss. Middleton stays in the backfield in a pistol formation directly behind the quarterback. 4 wide receivers, evenly split. Zorn wanted to throw deep. Now he checks it off down low, goes right through the hands of his Dominic Hernandez. He's been really reliable tonight, but that one slipped through the gloves there, and that's the first incomplete pass for Russell here in this second half.
Well, Devin, I think you could probably chalk that up as the first drop that Russell's had, which is such a rare thing to see at the high school level. I mean, that's huge. Brings up a big 4th down for Russell.
Big fourth down for the Broncos. We've seen them convert a couple. We've seen Southeast stand up in the red zone and kick them off the field. See what happens here on a 4th down and 9. Football sitting between the 18 and 19-yard lines. Russell has to move the chains here. They need to get inside of the 10 to keep this drive alive. 4th down and 9. 4 wide receivers, 1 in motion now as Hamlin comes from far side to near side. Zorn back to pass, looking left. He's under pressure. Chambers comes through. Now Swank chasing. Zorn wants to run. He's going to run out of space as Tristan Swank takes him down outside of the 15-yard line. Big boy football as 250-pound sophomore Swank ran down Zorn and kept him off the field. It's a turnover on downs for Southeast of Saline's defense.
Devin, what a play from the sophomore right there. I mean, Swank just never gave up. I mean, the pursuit, obviously, when it's 4th down and you see the quarterback drop and you haven't seen a run play from him all night, you haven't seen a design play, your idea is to go out and get him. You don't have the angle, you don't get there, but you don't give up. Continue to fight, continue to pursue. Huge tackle from the sophomore Tristan Swank.
Chambers flushed Zorn out of the pocket. Swank was the one that was able to pursue him outside. Little teamwork there. Here's the end around of Marion Hollup. He has some space, gets around one Bronco. Now he's down the near sideline. He's ran out of bounds after he passed the 30-yard line. They're going to say he stepped out at the 33. That's a big gain of 17 yards for the Trojans.
Yeah, and here's where you just start wearing down teams, right? You continue to run the ball, continue to use your big guys. You're seeing now Swank's getting a break after the big-time defensive play on 4th down. He was playing offensive line in that first play on 1st down. Get him quickly out, but you have fresh people to go back in those trenches and get down and dirty for Southeast.
Ryan Weller is in on the offensive line. Also Elijah Kerr on the end of the left-hand side of that line. Swank and Chambers both out here. Here's Lippold in motion. He'll set up behind the offensive line, be an extra blocker. It's for Gebhardt, who storms through and nearly broke another long run. He's going to be spotted at the 40-yard line on a gain of 7 for Grady Gebhardt.
Yeah, Devin, you're just starting to see these Russell defenders just get up a little bit slower. You're seeing Southeast pop up. They're ready to go. They want to keep the clock. And that's one of these things. We talk about, controlling the clock, but you can still get up to the line of scrimmage fast, and you continue to go fast. It means you can't make those substitutions defensively. You can't get guys on the field and off the field and give them breaks. You just continue to control the tempo and the pace.
2nd down and 4 at the 40 for Southeast of Saline. Here's a Holub in motion. They fake it to him. Potacik will keep it. Tiernan surges ahead. He's very, very close to a 1st down. Very close to a 1st down. We might have a measurement. Nope, the official said move the chains.
Ooh, that's a very favorable spot right there for Southeast, and that's exactly what Coach Gebhardt wants. Now it's just run after run after run, control the clock, control the chains, make sure you're in control of everything.
That last carry by Grady Gebhardt, by the way, unofficially his 20th carry of the night. Now we're 300 yards, 306 yards on 20 carries. He also has 3 touchdowns to go with it. Clock down to 1:52 here in the 3rd quarter. Southeast of Saline has the only touchdown. Here's a direct snap to Gebhardt. Gebhardt had a high snap. He had to bring it back in. Now he's fighting for his life against Broncos, trying to run out of space. Now he's going to go back to the line of scrimmage, and that is the most exciting 12 seconds of football you will see from Grady Gebhardt. He should have lost 5. Tyler ends up gaining 3.
He was pushed back. The snap was bobbing a little bit. Always difficult when you're a running back taking that snap. It's just kind of different. Doesn't matter how many times you've repped this in practice. When all of a sudden the lights are on, it's a Friday night. He controls the football. Should have been tackled for a loss. Just continue to fight with his offensive line and gets a gain of 3 yards. Huge, because it could have been a 5-yard loss. You're looking at 2nd and 15 or 2nd and 7. Here you go.
They're going to do it again. Potacik's out here in the slot on the near side, the right-hand side. Gebhardt will send Potacik in motion. They'll fake it to him. Grady will keep it, go up the field in the middle. Stutter steps his way to a 1st down across the 50 and brought down at the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 10 yards for Grady Gebhardt in something I never thought I'd say at Southeast of Saline, running out of the Wildcat.
Well, and I think that's something that we all kind of thought they might go to when we saw Jacobson go down, because you have somebody like Gebhardt back there. We talk about the running backs they have, but the fact that Potacik's still in the field kind of adds that extra wrinkle. You never know. You don't know what's up the sleeve of Coach Gebhardt.
Because what was Tiernan doing before he played quarterback? He was a wideout.
Yes.
I mean, he's back in his original spot. Now a flag will fly here on a 1st down and 10. Clock is under a minute left to go. Let's see what the flag is. It's a false start against Southeast of Saline. That will back them up to the 49-yard line, back towards the midfield stripe.
And this is always one of those situations now. You want to put stuff on film so teams have to prepare for it. but how much do you put on film? I mean, there's some trickeration you could run right here. You all of a sudden get Patachik going in that jet motion, hand him the ball off and let him work. Let him throw the ball, but you just never know what Coach Gebhardt has up his sleeve.
3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Moving up front by Russell, but they get back. Killian Vaughn's just kind of looking at him and saying, hey, what's that? It is not Killian Vaughn at center right now. Is that Brody Chambers at center?
Yeah, I believe so.
It is. Brody Chambers is playing center right now. Patachik back to throw. Lets it rip down the seam. Caden Berrigan is down there, and it's incomplete. Coverage on the play was superb from Walker Middleton as he and Berrigan both gave out for that football, got after it, and they both dove at the last second. It's incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down and 15 for Southeast.
Yeah, and we've seen, again, that's the 4 verts. Just everybody who's going downfield, you're finding your landmarks, you're running down there, and Walker Middleton, just a great job just making sure nobody got by him. Great defensive play from the Russell Bronco.
So Brody Chambers playing center right now. To his right, he has Ryan Weller and Garrett Kuhn. To his left, he has, Weller's now to the left. To his right, he has Elijah Kerr and Garrett Kuhn. Swank on the left end at tackle. Here's Gebhardt on the handoff from Patachik. Steps on the brakes. Now he surges back through as he gets in the middle of the field, and he'll go to the 40-yard line after a gain of 9, and that'll be the last play of the third quarter. Southeast of Saline wins the third quarter. They are winning the game right now as we go to the 4th and final quarter. In a third quarter brought to you by Lilypad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Southeast of Saline, 36, Russell 12. Final period coming up after this on KINA.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here getting ready for fourth quarter action. Southeast of Saline leads it 36-12 is our score. Southeast out in front. They have the football at the 40-yard line. Here's the give on the end around. Amarion Hollub has it, and he will get 5 yards out of that play. Grady Gebhardt, you see the results of a pancake block he had on one of the Russell defenders as Amarion Hollub gets 6 on that play and moves the ball inside the 35 to the 34 and a Southeast of Saline first down.
Yeah, you saw he didn't get it initially, but then it was just this surge of Southeast Saline Trojans just pushing him and just continue to drive. Another great run from Hollub, just always gets more yards after contact every single time he carries the ball.
So Southeast of Saline just keeps it trucking here. First down and 10. Ball sitting at the 34. 3 wide receivers split to the right. Patachik bobbled the snap just a little bit, but now he's going to gather it in and run. And he'll run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And Tiernan will break off 9 yards on that play. And there's a Bronco down on the field. While they attend to him, looks like maybe a cramp the way they're treating that one. It's our chance to remind you of another great event coming up here in the Gypsum area. It is the annual Soup Supper and Christmas tree lighting, Sunday, November 23rd. The Soup Supper lasts for an hour from 5:30 to 6:30 at the auditorium. Also an ugly sweater contest during the Soup Supper. Cookies and cocoa from 6:30 to 7 at Frisbee Park. Christmas tree lighting at 7 o'clock. That is coming up on November 23rd in Gypsum.
Tell you what, Gypsum and Assaria both do a great job just throwing things like this.
Yeah,
they know how to
parties, man.
Yeah, without a doubt.
25-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Little momentary stop there to get the Banged up Russell Bronco off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay. Maybe just a little bit of cramp there for Jameis Self. 2nd down and 1 here for Southeast of Saline. Holub is the motion man. They'll give it to Gebhardt. Starting off the left-hand side, Chambers the lead block. Friesen also out there with Lippold, and Grady Gebhardt takes it all the way to the 12-yard line after a gain of 13.
So that's the same play that we saw Grady score on earlier in the first half. It's that old-school GT guard tackle, but using the fullback instead. We saw the play before that with Potacek. It was old-school GT. You saw both guard and tackle come and pull. It's the same play, just different players involved. It just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult for the defense because you're trying to dictate who's going to carry the ball, who you're following, which defenders your keys are. But all of a sudden you get that fullback involved, just completely changes things defensively for you.
Football sitting at the 12. It's a new set of downs for Southeast of Saline. 1st down and 10 from the 12-yard line. 36-12 is our score. Southeast of Saline leading this one and looking to put it away. Tight formation. Lippold again, standing up, hands on his knees behind the line of scrimmage. High snap. Potacek will bring it in to Gebhardt. Gebhardt starts out right, slides back to the left, and he's down at the 3-yard line after a gain of 9. 25 carries, 350 yards unofficially for Grady Gebhardt.
Playoff football. I mean, this is when this is a 5-star game. You give the ball to your 5-star guy, and you just let him work, and you're finding holes between. You've seen 10 guys play on the offensive line at least. They just continue to put guys in there, and they're all doing their job, and Grady's being the benefactor tonight.
Killian Vaughn back at center. He looks over his right shoulder back at Tiernan Potacek. Gebhardt directly behind Potacek. They will turn, give it to Grady. He comes off the left-hand side, steps through a tackle, and he scores. Grady Gebhardt, for the 4th time tonight, is in the end zone. This one comes from 3 yards away on his 26th carry.
And again, it was just his patience. You saw him waits for the handoff, a little bit of a delay there, and then just explodes. Once he has the football, he understands where he's going. He reads the hole so well. Great. I mean, we're always thinking there could be a comeback. I know the nail was probably tapped in earlier. That's the hammer right there.
Yep. Believe you are right. As Southeast of Saline looking to get another regional trophy and move on to the sectional round. Swinging gate, heavy over to the right. Canyon Douglas will be the center and snap it back. Center in this case is just a term for a position. It's not true of what's going on in the formation. Back to Potacek. He's going to rise up, throw to the end zone. There's Gebhardt once again. So Grady Gebhardt on a 2-point conversion has put Southeast of Saline out in front, 44-12 here in the 4th quarter. 10-11 left to go. We're back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
A long drive that may have taken a lot of air out of the Russell sidelines here for Southeast of Saline. Makes it 44-12. Grady Gebhardt on his 4th rushing touchdown of the night. He once again rivals Al Bundy in scoring 4 touchdowns in a high school football game. For Southeast of Saline's Grady Gebhardt, that is his 28th rushing touchdown of the season. And it makes it 44-12 after the 2-point conversion. That scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, his walk-in clinic in Salina at Maury Clinic. Here's a kickoff that goes out of bounds. Russell will get it at the 35-yard line. Just a methodical drive that ends up in another touchdown. And just, you talk about taking what might be left of momentum for Russell. It all came purple that time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's just relying on your strength, right? Relying on those big guys in the trenches. Let them work. We talk about how good the wide receivers block. You know, it's KB, it's Hopkins. It's them doing their job as well. But then you still have to have an athlete and a dude that can read these things. And there's nobody better in the state than Grady Gebhardt at that. And he just absolutely pounded it in the end zone. A great job from Gebhardt and the Trojans.
So Russell will come out here. They will have a new set of downs at their own 35-yard line after that kickoff went out of bounds. 3 wide receivers off to the left for quarterback Trey Zorn. Zorn asks for the snap. Screen play out to Thielen. Thielen 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get back to positive yardage, and he does. And then he's taken down out there on the edge by Bryson Lippold. Ends up being just a gain of 2 on the play.
And Evan, we talk about how, the last drive Russell wasn't getting up to the ball quick, and they it looked like they were taking some time. I don't know if people know how difficult that is. Like, it's not easy to get everybody on the same page that quickly. We're very jaded, watching Southeast play every Friday night and watching the amount of people they have in and out of the game, but they're still able to go quick. That takes a lot of coaching, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of attention to detail. It's not as easy as Southeast makes it look.
Second down and 8 from the 37-yard line. Russell this time squeaking a handoff in the middle of the field. That will go to Walker Middleton. He comes out to just about the 40-yard line on a gain of 3. Just 5 carries for Middleton tonight. He came into this game as Russell's leading rusher. He has 5 carries for 59 yards.
Yeah, and I think they made that decision that our chance is using our dudes on the outside, and they've had success with that, but you just can't rely on that because you can't just score every time you throw to those guys. We still see the Southeast Saline defense just flock to the football. They've made sure they haven't given up too many big plays, and that's why you've only given up 12 points, and we talked about this defense. That's what they needed to do. This defense has only allowed an average of 9 points a game, and they've done exactly what they need to do tonight.
Third down and 5 from the 40. 2 receivers to the left. Zorn will pitch out to Middleton. He has a lead blocker out in front. He'll cut it back, get a first down out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And Walker Middleton, a gain of 7 out to the 47-yard line.
And we've seen Middleton scored away, and he can go right there. But you see also it's KB. I mean, we talked about him, defending some passes. He's got tough matchups. We talked about how big those receivers are. He's kind of been he's had good coverage tonight, hasn't made a lot of plays, hasn't made a lot of deflections, but he just came downhill right there and made sure Middleton couldn't score it away, for another big gain.
Russell having a huddle. And in the center of that huddle right now is the lead official. And we are going to have a timeout, an official's timeout on the field. Not sure what this is about. They're going to send off a Russell player, Ian Strobel. Strobel, one of their super defensive players, came into this game leading the Russell Broncos in tackles for loss. But he will go off the field here. And Russell will have first down and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Heavy on the left-hand side with 3 wide receivers. Zorn back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He steps up through it, though, and he's going to have a positive gain on the play. Big block downfield is going to be a bad block, and there's 2 flags now that come in from the officials late in that play. Block in the back. It's going to be one of them. I'm not sure what the other one might be.
Yeah, that's tough. It was Max Evans right there on the outside, and the block didn't need to happen. The first down was already had. You see just a block 15 yards down the field on the perimeter. Everyone's watching where that play is, but you saw Evans comes into a Southeast Saline defender. Didn't get the head around. You got to get that head on the correct side, or else they're going to call that block in the back every time.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So will be a block in the back. They will take it back here to the 47-yard line.
Going to be first down and 9. Ball's on the 48-yard line.
So a first down and 9 coming up after the 11-yard gain for Trey Zorn. One of those anomalies you don't see very often. First down and 9.
Yeah, and it looks like they were talking about it right there. And they're given the yardage. They got the first down. Now they're going to mark off the penalty from there.
From the 48-yard line. There's another flag that flies in. Zorn's going to throw it down the middle of the field, and it's nearly intercepted. It was Berrigan and Potacek. Tiernan Potacek had a chance at the interception, and a flag back in the offensive backfield of the Russell Broncos.
Yeah, it was Berrigan and Potacek going up against Evans. I know Potacek and Evans play a lot of summer baseball together. That would have been one that Potacek would have loved to have grabbed from Evans. Had a little bragging rights through that, but just slipped through Potacek's hands. But great defensive position from both Southeast of Saline defensive backs.
Officials talking to the defensive line right now for Southeast of Saline. Weller, Chambers, Swank still in there. Boy, has there been, you can talk about any position group, but for 3 guys And the impact that they've had on this team this year, those guys.
It's what they do because they speed everything else up offensively, which then the linebacking unit, they take care of their job, and it just lets your defensive backs. It means that you can do whatever you want. You can run different formations. You could go man. You can cover that up. Go cover 3. Go cover 2. You can do different things in your defensive backfield. You can double team people because you're getting pressure on the quarterback.
The penalty, after much discussion, is procedure against Russell. That'll back him up 5 more yards, take the football back to the 43. Not sure what took so long, but it gave Brody Chambers a chance to introduce himself to a couple of Russell linemen, as if they didn't know each other already. And now a timeout will be called here by Russell. We'll step away as well. We need one. Southeast of Saline leading the Russell Broncos. 8:10 left to go in this game. 44-12 our score right here on KINA.
Fall is the absolute best time for the experts at Commercial Tire Centers to look over your vehicle. Summer was tough on your tires, and winter's coming on strong. You don't want to be left stranded with tires that aren't performing. Car, truck, SUV, trailers, farm, and big rigs. Commercial Tire will help you keep safe and productive. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
The Kansas City Chiefs earn championship rings. Bold, brilliant, and one of a kind. Now you can have a ring that's just as unforgettable. At Vernon Jewelers in Salina, we create custom rings that tell your story. From stunning engagement rings to personalized designs, our craftsmanship makes every piece a winner. Celebrate life's biggest moments with a ring that's truly yours. Stop by Vernon Jewelers, downtown Salina since 1884. We're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Welcome back here to Steve Fritz Field. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Chris Cadle producing and engineering. I want to thank him, as always, back at the KINA studios. He's getting you ready for the high school football scoreboard show coming up tonight from 10 until 11 o'clock. Scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas for a full hour. I bet they have scores of all 72 games. Eric Peterson takes you around the state. It's brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Here's a fake screen out to the left-hand side. They hand it off inside to Middleton, and he's going to string that play out to the right. Gannon Jacobson down there in close proximity, but he puts it in reverse and gets out of the way. It's a first down for the Broncos on a well-designed play there.
And I don't know if I've seen anybody quicker than Gannon Jacobson on the crutches. We've talked about it. He's the first one out in timeouts. I've seen him throw passes at practice on one foot. He's still as involved as you'd expect your injured QB1 to be. I mean, this guy, he lives and breathes South of Saline everything, and he's out there in the mix of it, almost, making a tackle on the sideline right there.
And like I said, I've brought it up a couple of times, and maybe I just haven't noticed it in previous weeks, and maybe the games haven't been that close, but he is doing more coaching up of his peers tonight than what I've seen. Here's Middleton, end around, has a blocker out in front. That blocker will be blown up by Canyon Douglas, and now Middleton looking for help. And Canyon Douglas put a big old stick of TNT in that play and just blew it apart as his teammates come in and finish the job. Loss of 1 on that play for Russell.
And everything that Canyon Douglas did on that play is just exemplifies what this defense is all about. He wasn't going to make the tackle. He knew when he was making that play, driving into the inside, taking on that lead blocker. The play's not his to make, but he makes sure that lead blocker has to force him to the outside. Again, we talk about leverage ad nauseum, but he forces the ball carrier to then turn inside, and that's where everybody else is coming. Just another great play from Kenyon Douglas. Isn't going to get credited with the tackle there, but he created that entire opportunity for the Southeast defense.
They actually say Middleton got back to the line of scrimmage, so to the 41, it's 2nd down and 10. Thielen out here, split right. Hernandez now will go in motion. He'll join 3 wide receivers on the right-hand side. Zorn wants to escape the pocket. Has some space. Now he's going to throw it back in the middle of the field. Has a receiver. It's caught. Broken tackle by Middleton. He'll turn back upfield and make his way to the 30-yard line on a gain of 11 and a first down for Russell.
Yeah, and Zorn's just never panicked back there. It doesn't matter what's going on. He's always, has composure. You saw that's the cardinal sin right there as a quarterback. He threw against his body, but he made it happen because he's got the velocity on that. The lefty can sling it, and he did a great job with another big-time completion.
Clock continues to melt down here. 6.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Southeast of Saline still leading 44-12. Zorn back to pass. Takes it down the right side hash. Has Middleton once again, and he is going to be hit by Berrigan and then taken down with Berrigan and Kenyon Douglas. Football sitting at the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 8.
And again, you're just seeing Southeast drop back in the zone. They're going to give you everything in front, nothing behind. And you saw right there, it's the first guy there's making contact, creating that tackle, letting everybody else come and help out. That's exactly what you want to see if you're Southeast of Saline.
Football setting at the 23-yard line. This Russell passing game in the second half has been impressive. Trey Zorn right now is 9 of 10 in this half passing the ball.
They've been 9 of 10, but it's a bend but don't break defense. Yep. I mean, they're letting the short game happen, just not letting anybody get behind you.
The longest play is 12 yards.
There you go.
Yep. 2 receivers to each side. Zorn back to pass. Weller coming in chasing. Now Chambers gets a hold of him and drops him down. For the second time tonight, Brody Chambers with a calling card to Trey Zorn.
And you saw the emotion from Chambers. I mean, this guy just works his tail off. You saw right there after the sack, just comes up and drops the hammer. Just a great job from Chambers. That entire defensive line. I mean, there's multiple guys that could have got the sack, but it was Chambers the first one to get to Zorn and just showed his emotion right there.
Chambers came into this game tied for the lead in tackles for the team. Brody and Grady Gebhardt each had 52 solo tackles coming into this game. Brody had 8 tackles for loss. And he has added to that.
Well, let's not forget, this is small school defensive player of the year, reigning player of the year. I mean, he's back, and he just continues to add to his accolades.
3rd down and 12. Here's Chambers again on the tackle as he is able to take down the ball carrier at the 30-yard line after a gain of just 2 yards. And that was just an engulfment by Brody Chambers.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, good blocking, a good scheme, good run play from Russell, but you can't scheme against dudes. And right there, Brody just blows it up. I mean, it sheds the blocker off, just absolutely engulfs. Great word right there, by the way. Pulling out my thesaurus to make sure it is a word, and just another great tackle from Brody.
Might have tweaked his right hamstring or something right now. He's doing a good job of stretching it out, though. Good luck getting him off the field. Ball sitting at the 30-yard line. It's 4th down and 9 now for the Broncos. And again, they are taking their time. Play clock down to 4. Zorn asking for the snap, gets it at 1. Here's Chambers getting double-teamed on the block. Great pass by Zorn over the middle. Has Hernandez. He has a stiff arm out, and he will be all the way to the 15-yard line. Great job on that play by Russell, getting 15 yards on the pitch and catch, and they keep this drive alive.
Yeah, and again, it's just Zorn understanding the offense. It's just quick slants. He knows he's going to have guys in his face, but he gets that 3 steps, plants the foot, understands he's got to wait for the receiver to clear the outside linebacker in that cover 2. Once that receiver clears that, puts the ball right on the numbers, good catch, pitch and catch right there from Russell.
1st down for the Broncos at the 16-yard line. Clock inside 4 minutes, 3:50 left to go here in this game. 44-12, southeast of Saline. 1st down and 10 for the Broncos here at the 16-yard line. Split again, 2 receivers on each side. Zorn trying to evade Chambers again. Now comes Swank. He hits him as he throws, and the ball is incomplete. Nobody home out there. That is just the 2nd incomplete pass by Trey Zorn on 12 attempts here in this half.
And Southeast is wanting intentional ground, and they're trying to figure out what's going on there, but it looked like Sam Thielen did fall down, might have been trying to break to the outside, just never got to the outside because he fell down. I think it's probably a good call. Well, it looks like they're going to get together and see if they can get this thing right.
Say what you want about this officiating crew. They have taken their time and been very deliberate making right calls, and they're not in a hurry.
And they're in control. I mean, the game can't go on without them. Regardless of what call they make right here, I love that they're getting together and talking about it.
And you can say what you want about the regular season. You want it to be right at this point in the year.
Yes, without a doubt, and they will go with the intentional grounding call.
There was just nobody close. You said Thielen fell down, but I feel like that was early in the play. Zorn still had time to see that maybe there was nobody out there. We talked about the pressure. He already got around Chambers, but then Swank was coming bearing down on him as well.
I think it was a very smart play from Zorn just to get rid of the ball, but they were trying to sell it to Thielen. Again, it's a bunch of seniors out there. They know how the game's played. They know how the flow goes, but just couldn't get away with that right there.
Now coming out protesting the call is Cole Greenwood, second-year head coach for Russell. Comes into this game 10-8. Russell was 3-6 last season. We course, talked about this senior class. They were under the direction of Christian Azoris, who is now the Salina South head coach. Salina South tonight in action out in Liberal, and they were leading at last check.
Here's what I like about Coach Greenwood. I mean, he wants to know the answer. It's 44-12. He didn't care about the score. He didn't care how much time's left. He's always looking to improve his team. If you're a coach, you don't look at the time. You're always just looking to get better, to get points, and continue to drive your team down the field.
Second down and 16 for the Broncos. 3:32 left to go here in this game. Zorn back to pass, under pressure again. He's going to leave. Swank's going to chase him and take him down at the 25-yard line. Tristan Swank, while he has been in the backfield, has not recorded a sack tonight. That is his first, and now he is the 5th Southeast of Saline player to total 6 sacks.
Gosh darn. I mean, again, we've seen him run Zorn down many times. Just another great play from the big-time sophomore.
Tyler, they came in, Southeast of Saline's defense came into this game with 12 sacks. They have 6 here tonight. And you look at the comparison, not a lot of sacks. That sack number is not high. What is higher than last year is their takeaways. They had a total of 18 takeaways last year the whole season. They had 19 coming into tonight. Here's Zorn back to pass. He's going to be in trouble again, trying to get around Chambers and Weller. Now he's going to get an open spot and deliver a ball, and it's going to be dropped by Hernandez. That's his second drop of the night, as Tyler will make his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines. He'll prepare for a post-game conversation with Mitch Gebhardt. 2:39 left to go. Now, after that incomplete pass, the clock stops. 44-12, Southeast of Saline. It's 4th and 19. And the football sitting line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. Another play here. Chance for Southeast of Saline's defense to make one last statement. Russell taking their time. Play clock down to 5. 2 wide receivers on each side. Zorn back to pass. Going to rip it down the left, and it's off the gloves of Hernandez again. That was a tougher catch, though. I'm not going to call that a drop. That was behind Hernandez. And it will go incomplete, and Southeast of Saline will take over on downs at their own 25. So good job there. A sustained drive by Russell, but Southeast of Saline's defense ultimately wins out. And now we'll see some guys coming in for extra action here on Southeast of Saline's offense, including Levon Hopkins, who will be onto the field. Also coming out is Kane Sawyers. Caden Berrigan will stay out there. Killian Vaughn will stay out there. Looks like Garrett Kuhn will stay out there. Tiernan Potachik will stay out there. Adam Teal now will replace Berrigan. Tyler Bramblett, James Friesen. Also on the field, Elijah Kerr. I might have said him already. Potachik will probably just hand it off to Levon Hopkins. Here is Levon. Stutter step off to the left-hand side, a little spin move, and he will get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to add a yard right on the end of that for his first carry of the night. Levon Hopkins, so far this year, coming into relief, 51 carries, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns for the junior tailback. Actually gave him 2 on that play. So Levon with a couple of yards there. That starts the clock. Clock working its way down towards the 2-minute mark. 44-12, Trojans. Potachik again with Hopkins behind him. We're going to put it right in the belly of Levon again. And here is Levon with a first down run. Out past the 35. Gets to the 37-yard line. Levon Hopkins with a 9-yard carry on his second carry of the night.
Yeah, Hopkins is just so good at getting low. I mean, it's so difficult to bring him down. You see victory formation right now from Southeast.
Tyson Keller will move in tight. Levon Hopkins will step back deep. And Southeast of Saline just wants to get out of here. 1:34 on the clock. This might be the only time you see Southeast of Saline get under center. And they do, and Tiernan Potachik's going to take a knee, keep that clock rolling. That was a big first down by Levon Hopkins to get a first down and allow Southeast to take a couple of knees here. 44-12 is our score as the clock continues to run down. We'll have some score updates for you. We'll also have Mitch Gebhardt coming up in postgame. You say, what's next? Well, it's going to be the sectional round. We'll try to get a score between Haven and Phillipsburg. That'll be the next opponent, whoever wins that game will come to southeast of Saline next week. It'll be either Haven or Phillipsburg. Haven went into tonight's game 7-2. Phillipsburg went in at 6-3. Haven had a 44-31 victory over Kingman last week. Phillipsburg had back-to-back victories over Minneapolis. Last week it was 49-0. So either Haven or Phillipsburg will get southeast of Saline next week as the Trojans win it 44-12. They have one more down to take a knee here. Tiernan Potocik does that, and now we are in postgame. It's a big Trojan victory, 44-12 our score. We'll step away. We'll take a break. When we come back, the head coach will be on the field with Tyler Smith. We'll have final numbers for you and a couple of scores from across the area. After a 44-12 Trojan victory, it is the 10th victory of the season as southeast of Saline moves to 10-0. Postgame starts now, brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
The recent storm could have done a real number on your roof, but how would you know? Is your home vulnerable to future damage? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing today. An in-person roof inspection is necessary to evaluate damage. Rely on Bryson to perform a free roof assessment. Inspect, assess, and resolve. Protect your home and make sure your insurance policy provides the coverage you deserve. Roofs, windows, siding, and gutters on your home or business. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing, always supporting the southeast of Saline Trojans.
Fall is the absolute best time for the experts at Commercial Tire Centers to look over your vehicle. Summer was tough on your tires, and winter's coming on strong. You don't want to be left stranded with tires that aren't performing. Car, truck, SUV, trailers, farm, and big rigs. Commercial Tire will help you keep safe and productive. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Time for the Trojan Postgame Show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan Football on KINA.
Back here in postgame, it's brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith. Tyler on the field, awaiting the arrival of head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just a few numbers for you in this game. We talked about the southeast of Saline defense getting 5 quarterback sacks tonight. Actually 6, It was 5 different guys getting those sacks. Kenyon Douglas, Brody Chambers had 2. Also Josh Watkins, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank all had sacks tonight for southeast of Saline. The offensive number from Russell was big. 86 yards rushing, 267 yards passing. It's the most offense that southeast of Saline has given up in quite some time, especially this season. 353 yards of total offense given up by southeast of Saline, but they only gave up 12 points. There were several instances in this game where Tyler Smith used the phrase, bend but don't break. That's exactly what southeast of Saline's defense tonight. They allowed the yardage. They did not allow the points. And they give up 353 yards, but only 12 points as Southeast gets the regional championship, and they will move to 10-0 once again here on their home field. They will look ahead for another game next week as they will play either Haven or Phillipsburg. Last time these two teams met here, Southeast of Saline and Russell, was back in 2021, and that may have been one of the best teams to ever come out of Southeast of Saline. Remember, that was the year the Southeast ran into Andale and kept them out of the state title game that year. But, boy, that defense was good, and This defense might rival that defense from 2021. There was a good defense in 20. There was a good defense in 21. Of course, last year's defense, which is a lot of these same cats, Tyler, is back. And this defense, again, giving up yardage but not giving up points.
Well, and I think that goes to game plan, right? That means we're going to do what we're taught to do, what we're coached to do. But then when we get in the red zone, we got to get nasty. And we're going to give up yards, and that's fine. You know, like you said, over 350 total yards from Russell, the most that this Southeast Saline defense has given up quite some time. However, only give up 12 points. You know, that means you're buckling down, you're digging your heels in when it matters, when Russell's getting in that red zone, getting close. That's the mark of a champion right there. That means you're not giving up points. Points, it doesn't matter how many yards you give up. It matters how many points you give up. Great job from the Southeast defense.
This Russell offense averaged 33.1 points per game, but they get 12 here tonight against Southeast of Saline. Tyler, I lost you when you're ready with Coach. Just holler at me, bud. I got you potted up here, and you are ready to go. And I can also tell you through your headset that Salina South has done it again. Tonight they beat Liberal 22-16.
Yes,
Coach
sir.
O gets another victory as Salina South gets back-to-back playoff wins. Tonight they beat Liberal 22-16. As we take a check of the area scoreboard, man, what a big win for Salina South against Liberal tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say I'm surprised by any means.
You called it. You
I
came
did,
to the
I
booth
did.
and you told me tonight.
I even went on social media last night and made that call. It's crowded down here. I'm going to try to steal Coach Gebhardt here in a second. He's here again. It's my favorite thing. The first 4 people he hugs are his sons, and then, you know, the head coach of the Gebhardt family is always there as well. And I love watching these moments. These are special moments. It doesn't matter how many times you do this. It doesn't matter how many regional championships you win. It doesn't matter how many games you win. The love that this Gebhardt family has is just, it's fun to see from this perspective.
Couple of barn burners tonight as we look at the area scoreboard. Rock Creek tonight, they beat Heston 17-13. In overtime tonight, Cheney beats Holcomb 23-20. Those are a couple of great games. Wamego tonight, they get a victory 33-27. El Saline gets a victory tonight over Madison. Remember, Madison was the team that eliminated Southeast of El Saline a year ago. El Saline tonight, the Cardinals move on 58-6. They get the victory. Holcomb blocked a Cheney 38-yard field goal to get that game into overtime, but Cheney eventually pulled it out. Lincoln tonight, they get another win. They got their first playoff win in school history. Let's go down the field. Here is Mitch Gebhardt.
Coach Gebhardt, all right, so let's talk about this. You gave up over 350 yards. Russell had 350 yards total offense. I mean, they did a good job moving the ball down the field, did great things. But to only give up 12 points, what does that say about your defense?
Well, I really think, especially the first half and both halves, but you know, there's two times they got inside the 20-yard line there, and our boys bowed up and didn't let them score. I thought those were big for us. We talked about it at halftime. I mean, that's a you know, we haven't had a whole lot of that happen this season, and it's good for our kids to be able to do that. And yeah, I mean, that's probably the most yards we've given up all year. And you know, but I thought when our kids had to, they made plays.
That's what we talked about there. So 6 quarterback sacks, what we have you for unofficially from 5 different guys. It was the nastiness of the trenches, and that's huge stops in the red zone. Those dudes in the middle, in the trenches, the nasty guys, you know, we saw Chambers just continue to make plays. Tristan Swank is a guy this guy's going to be something extremely special. He's already special, but only a sophomore. What are those nasty guys? And again, we talk about the rotation. We saw probably 10 different guys playing the offensive, defensive line for you. Just talk about those big fellas down there.
Well, I think that's a huge key that we have the number of people that we can play, and those Brody and Tristan and Drew are the ones that play on our defense most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, and we try to rest those guys on offense. But they are nasty. I mean, they're hard to block. They're going to get after you. And they're going to be relentless doing it. So, you know, I thought they did an outstanding job.
We know you don't want to give away too many wrinkles, but Devin Haney said it. He never thought he would say Gebhardt taking a snap in the backfield in a Wildcat formation. Keep those wrinkles to yourself, but are there more wrinkles coming up?
There's a lot more, yeah. We've been working on that for a couple years, and we used it a couple times, Clay Center a couple years ago and things like that, but we practice them every week, and just in case we want to pull them out, I guess. So, yeah.
I think we're pretty excited to see what else this offense has in store. The defense continues to roll. Coach, best of luck to you guys next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Southeast of Saline with the victory as they get another win here on their home field. It's a 44-12 victory over the Russell Broncos. The last update we had on the Phillipsburg-Haven game was at halftime, and Phillipsburg was leading. This game is in Haven. Phillipsburg was leading 27-10. That was at halftime. So haven't gotten an update since then. We may, well, just as I say that it's a final, Phillipsburg is coming to Southeast of Saline next Friday night. Phillipsburg tonight, they get the victory over Haven by 30 points. Phillipsburg 52, Haven 22. So it'll be Southeast of Saline and Phillipsburg next Friday night here at Southeast of Saline. Also Derby tonight over Junction City, 28-7 on another school that's kind of in the immediate area here of Central Kansas. Let's go over some numbers for you. For Southeast of Saline tonight, throwing the football, Tiernan Potocik, 6 of 13 throwing the ball. He was 0 of 4 in the second half, so all of his yards came in the first half. 53 yards tonight for Tiernan. He had 3 completions to Amarion Holub, 3 catches, 27 yards, a pass completion to Malachi Hopkins, a catch for 14 yards, a reception for Grady Gebhardt of 7 yards, and 1 for Caden Berrigan of 5 yards. The game was on the ground, though, tonight for Southeast of Saline. Grady Gebhardt tonight unofficially, 26 carries, 353 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Tiernan Potocik had a nice night on the ground, 7 carries, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 3 carries for Marion Holub and 30 yards. 2 carries for Lavon Hopkins and 11 yards. For the Russell Broncos tonight, good passing game. I was impressed with Trey Zorn, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions tonight for Trey Zorn. He was 21 of 28 passing the football for 267 yards. His main target, Dominic Hernandez, was 6 catches, also 5 catches for Walker Middleton, 4 catches and a touchdown for Max Evans and Sam Thielen. Final numbers for you look like this. Southeast of Saline tonight, 456 yards on the ground. Russell with 86 yards. Southeast of Saline with just 53 yards passing. Russell with the edge in the passing game, 267. Total yards, Southeast of Saline unofficially over 500 yards. 509 yards for the Trojans. Russell with 353 yards. No turnovers in this game, if you can believe that. 6 quarterback sacks, though, for the Southeast of Saline defense. So that'll do it here, 44-12. Southeast of Saline gets the victory. They are now 10-0 on the season. They run that longest winning streak in the state, along with Andale, to 23 games after a 44-12 victory. Southeast of Saline now will focus their attention coming up on the sectional round. They will take on Phillipsburg. Don't forget about the high school football scoreboard show coming up tonight in about 30 minutes. That'll start at 10 o'clock. Scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas, brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital, as Eric Peterson takes you around the state of Kansas. And then Chiefs on a bye this week. Also no Chiefs Kingdom show on Monday due to the bye. Kansas Wesleyan basketball will be back on the air on Monday with a single game. It's men's only coming up on Monday. And, of course, Kansas Wesleyan football with a kickoff at 1 o'clock coming up tomorrow with Tyler Henry. Once again, our final score here in Gypsum, Southeast of Saline defeats Russell. They move on now to the round of 8, where they will take on Phillipsburg in the sectional next Friday night. Final score, 44-12 for Chris Cadle, Tyler Smith. My name's Devin Haney. I want to thank you for joining us for Southeast of Saline Trojan football, live stream video, and on demand anytime. You can watch it at salinapost.com on YouTube. It was presented tonight by Assyria Oil and Hardware.